Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
And Alex.
And in the immortal words of Kristen Shaw from BoJack Horseman, that's too much, man. Oh God. Okay, guys. We don't even have time to get into our reactions to all of this. We're just gonna dive right into it.
Can I just give my one sentence reaction?
No.
Yeah, one sentence.
I know. I'm kidding you. Go on. Go on.
What the fuck? This is too much.
It's too much. Okay, so we're just gonna dive right into it, folks. I'm gonna say right off at the top, there was no way we were going to be able to fit everything into one podcast. Just it wasn't going to happen. We'd literally be here for at least 4 hours. So
which was the length of the press conference, to be fair.
Right. So tonight we're doing Star Wars and Marvel. Tomorrow we are doing Disney and Pixar. Capiche? You got it? All right. Good. Everyone's on the same page. Okay, oh my God, let's start with Star Wars. Dragon, Jesus Christ, take the floor, sir. Where do we go?
All right, so folks, we kind of have this laid out chronologically from what they've announced year-wise here. So this is what's coming 2 ways. It's like the slate of which things are coming. So we had, Kathleen Kennedy. She presented things with no showmanship whatsoever. Just saying. I'm just saying this is why Dave Filoni is getting really eager. I'm just saying, Kathleen. Anyway,
lay off the lady. She has enough to deal with the fanboys. Lay off.
I'm just saying, a little present. Anyway, the point being, we're starting with the Bad Batch, which we already knew was coming, but I'm just saying we have a trailer for it this time, and we know it's coming 2021. So one of the few things that was actually unaffected, predominantly by all the chaos that's going on, we're actually getting.
So yeah, I mean, I would be more excited for this if I didn't have literally 2 full shows I needed to watch to get to this.
Okay, now you only have to watch one to get to this one. This is only
just Clone Wars?
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. All right, cool.
Still, yeah. Like it's an entire show you have to watch just to get this one.
There's definitely a barrier of entry for this.
Yeah.
Even for the shortcut is you just need to watch the 7th season for this if you're really in a pinch. But yeah, you should watch the whole thing just for the experience.
I do want to watch the whole thing. Mando has got me into watching the whole thing, if anything. So.
I just finished my degree layoff. I need to start deep diving.
All right. So yeah, Bad Batch. I'm more excited, but for people who are into that lore, and there's a lot of them. That Clone Wars lore is definitely one of the most popular elements of the Star Wars canon. I would say at this point, I would be very excited about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically the big question that's kind of touted off in the trailer is the thing we're not sure of is are the Bad Batch because as you can just kind of tell by looking at them, hence the title, they're kind of irregular clones, as you can kind of gather. These guys are kind of like they're off the beaten path clones, but they're awesome regardless. Question is, are the Bad Batch basically are they free from the whole Order 66 thing and just following orders because they're it's kind of what they're trained to do, but they're not forced to because of the order, or are they just a really warped version of the Order 66? And basically the Empire's eventually is going to say, you know what, these guys, they don't really jive what we're doing, so we're just going to try to axe them. We don't like them. We want to get rid of them. That's the question. Like, is it just the Empire just not going to like them, or are they just going to come to the realization we're working for the bad guys now? That's the question.
And I would have more context for that if I actually watch Clone Wars.
Well, I mean, the big thing, too, last thing is that, again, we're in for the first time within Clone Wars, we are in the 3.5 space. We're after Revenge of the Sith. This is big. This is the first time we're ever doing it in Clone Wars. We're getting full-on Governor Tarkin. We're getting like all this, Dave Filoni in the chair taking on 3.5. And I love 3.5 Star Wars, man. That's where all the intrigue is. It's where all the undiscovered territories before Mando came along.
Claude, I would have you on for the podcast, but there's just so much to cover, and I feel like 3 people is kind of pushing it as it is. So, by all means, buddy, be active in the comments. We'll shout you out for sure. But I just think, all things considered, with how much there is to cover, I just feel like the less people, the better. And then let's see. Luke says, "I genuinely wish we would have seen the actual creators talk about these projects." Brother, yeah, I kind of agree to that.
I'm with you. It would have felt a lot better.
Okay, now before any further, let me explain this. So essentially, folks, the way this whole investors thing broke down is that this is what they were actually talking to the actual investors, but someone streamed it to the general audience. That's why it's just like the heads of the departments, and they cut out all the really good footage that they weren't sure about, like the stuff they showed all the slam dunks. That's what the general audience got to see. The stuff we know is going to work. The stuff they're unsure about, though, they had. We're going to show you this next, and then we didn't get anything. So that's just if anyone's curious why we didn't have the creators and everything, with a couple awesome exceptions like your Fahey's and your Pete Doctors, we'll get to them.
All right.
Okay, that's moving on to Andor. No, kids, not Andor, not that one. We're talking Cassian Andor, 2021. Diego Luna.
I'm hype.
This looks good.
I wasn't hyped for it just based on the premise alone, but it does look good.
Diego Luna.
I always liked Diego Luna, and this, and plus, I mean, he was pretty good in Rogue One. Basically, this series, I think the best case scenario is this show takes off with a really interesting moment with Diego Luna in Rogue One. Where towards the beginning of the movie, he kills like one of his own guys, but again, in the desperation of war. And I think if we do it right, we're going to explore the moral complexities that go into that kind of are tied into Rogue One, and we kind of explored recently on Mando. We're like, sometimes you make hard decisions that maybe don't makes you not sleep well at night. I think we're gonna do that through Cassian Andor. Also, Mon Mothma, more Mothma, man.
Yeah, I can't say no to that.
Yeah, we got like a little taste of her in Rogue One, and hey, coming back for more. Maybe we can actually give her stuff this time.
They're really hyping up the production values.
Yeah.
That's
something I've noticed this entire segment, both Marvel and Star Wars, they're hyping up the production value.
Practicality and deception, powerful tools to the uninitiated.
Oh God. All right, so Mando season 3, December 2021. Is anyone really surprised?
More Baby Yoda.
I'm just glad we got like a date, like kind of a general date established here. It's going to be a little, kind of in the same. We kind of get Mando in the space. Usually wraps up by December though. But hey, we're getting more of it officially next year, despite kind of a little hiccup in the production because they had to have a plan. Assumedly they have a plan to season.
You know what, Dragon? Considering the that big gap between Better Call Saul season, between the Better Call Saul seasons, I'm totally fine with this.
Hey, I'll take whatever Mando I can get.
Waiting like a month and a half more.
And again, now this does beg the question: the mortality of our Mandalorian is in question, especially going into they announced this like the week before this is the season 2 finale. And here's the thing: there's rumors that Pedro Pascal might not want to be in Mandalorian anymore. These are rumors. I didn't put any stock in him, but I'm just saying, assuming those are true, and assuming he's continuing, I don't know if he's in the suit fully this season outside the most recent episode. That's the thing. I'm not sure. So if Pascal wants out, we have other Mandos we could put in there now.
We'll see.
We'll see. All right. So let's see. There's another. This thing sounds like it's 2021. I'm not 100% sure if this is fully confirmed, but everywhere I find it says 2021. So I'm gonna go with it. Another animated thing. What is it, Tiki?
Star Wars Visions, which is a 10-part anime anthology series, a la the Animatrix.
I am so intrigued by this concept.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, I think it could work really well, especially considering how widespread the Star Wars galaxy is.
And like, just the number, like it's specifically anime, and like the number of amazing anime directors that they could pull for this, I cannot wait for this.
The closest we've ever gotten to something like this was kind of the Clone Wars show from the Genndy Tartakovsky Clone Wars in 03.
Right.
I mean, that's not even the same thing, but it's close. So this is big, and of course, Star Wars has always had some kind of roots in Japanese culture. It's going to be kind of interesting. It sounds like kind of like a match made in heaven. They've done some short animated stuff, but never quite anime. And given like 10 segments, a lot of landscape, a lot of stuff we could do.
All right. So Obi-Wan Kenobi coming in 2022 with Hayden Christensen returning as Vader. That's going to be super intriguing.
I'm curious how they're going to pull that off.
Well, to be fair, he was Vader in Sith. He was in the suit there.
He was, but like he was just in the suit with James Earl Jones voicing. So.
Right. I have the exact same reservation, Alex.
Look, we could always put him in the little egg-shaped protector thing, so we could have scenes with the mask off. It's possible.
That's true. That's true.
If we ever go to Mustafar, remember he's in like the hanging gel thing. He's in like
if we go to Mustafar, sure.
He's in the castle. But here's the thing. So someone brought. Yeah, go on.
I'm more excited. I'm just more excited for Ewan McGregor.
Sure. I mean, obviously, this is probably the thing, Tiki. I mean, I think you and I were pretty in the same boat here. I mean, we're most looking forward to the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. Plus, we gave it a title finally, Obi-Wan Kenobi instead of Kenobi or Obi-Wan or whatever we were going to call it.
I really have kind of settled on the fact that like the fact that it's a TV show is much better than if they just did like a standalone Obi-Wan, a Star Wars story.
Right. We also confirmed it is indeed. So it's 10 years. He's been on there. We start off with him being on Tatooine for 10 years, which means we could see a 10-year-old Luke Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
Baby Skywalker.
Oh, God.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. So, we're going to have... so, again, we could have Hayden Christensen suits, could be in flashbacks, could be like, the whole scarred-up Vader. And the big thing that's been touted off, I never considered, but someone pointed out, is that in A New Hope, the last moment between Obi-Wan and Vader does reference, like, their last battle, and it doesn't sound quite as, like, grueling and limb-cutting off as Revenge of the Sith, and we always assumed that. So there's a possibility, given, like, the whole Hayden Christensen all that maybe they have an encounter in this series.
Oh, I'm sure.
That is the last encounter that we're referring to.
They would not be hyping up Hayden Christensen coming back if they weren't going to encounter each other.
Exactly. There's like some unfinished business there. There's like that. It's the kind of help gild the lid on that last.
Yeah, I would say so. Just the whole cut to I hate you. I hate you. Yeah, I'd say that's unfinished business.
I know we're late still. Sorry, Lego Star Wars kids.
All right.
Also, Atomic Beast says Obi-Wan probably takes place after Vader's encounter with Ahsoka on Rebels. Entirely possible, and yes, by the timeline. Well, actually, Rebels might take place. I mean, I won't rule anything out. Maybe. I haven't watched Rebels. That's the one I haven't gotten to yet, so I can't say authoritatively. All right.
Okay, what's next? We have Dragon.
Okay, let's see. Next we got so next we have Indy 5. So Indiana Jones 5, the last two.
Is it actually going to happen?
So it says July 2022.
But they've been talking about Indy 5 since they got
they were talking about Indy 4 for forever too, and that happened.
Well, to be fair, like they were like slated to shoot and everything, but then things got delayed, as with every picture. So, we have a new director, Tiki. I'm sure you're excited to talk about him.
Yeah, if it weren't for James Mangold, this would be nothing to me. Because of James Mangold, this kind of means everything to
we have
me.
like the Kazdans coming back to write, which is I'm pretty sure they wrote all
James Mangold doing an indie send-off movie is like it's perfect. It's almost too good to be true, and he better not fuck it up.
And they told the shareholders it's the last one. Us, the fans, but mostly the shareholders. Hey, last one, last indie.
So yeah, if it were literally any other director, I'd be skeptical. But Mangold is literally the perfect director for something like this.
Nothing but pure Mangold.
Oh God, no comment.
Mangold does great work. Come on. It is
right.
Mangold. All right.
Alex?
Yes.
What do you think?
Okay. All right, so
I am a solid neutral.
Not a Logan fan?
I mean, yeah, but like,
you have no soul.
I want to see how this goes. I want to see how this goes.
I really hope John Rhys Davies comes back for this last one.
My God!
I mean, he's got it, right? I mean, he's like everyone else is gone. We got to bring him back. Well, I mean, him in Short Round. We already pitched our version of Indy 5, but the point being, let's bring Solo back.
Dave Bautista is the made man, Dragon.
Wait, what?
If Indy 5, like if the villains are mobsters, Dave Bautista could be the made man.
Right. Again, I pitched like the whole Greek mythology thing where Dave Bautista's like the Minotaur and the maze, but that's a good idea.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about we both had Bautista.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Okay, let's see. Okay, moving on from Indy 5, we also have, here's the thing, we called it Star Wars in the crawl here, but it's kind of broadly as Lucasfilm, so again, Indy being included within that, as well as this other thing. Willow. So Willow's coming back as a series.
I am intrigued.
All right. Hold on. A couple things about Indy 5. Sorry,
okay.
guys. I don't mean to pump the brakes on the Willow love here. I was the Willow!
Wrong Willow.
Okay, so the real question is, will Shia LaBeouf return? Luke, I gotta be honest with you. I would love for Shia to return just because I think that Shia is having a renaissance right now. He had a hell of a year in 2019, and I would love to see him bring some actual depth to the character of Mutt Williams. I would be all for it.
In the past, they've said no, but time has passed, so who knows?
Jacob, any news on what it's about? Dragon, not that I can tell, right? Except
no, they
it's going to be the send-off movie. So
they said Mangold, Harrison Ford's going to be in it. It's the last one. That's all they said. And I got the Kazdan thing from like what they've said last about the writers. So that's what we got in 2022. Most likely July, unless anything apocalyptic happens further.
Oh dear God. Well, that's very likely. So don't go tempting fate there, buddy.
Anyway, so back to Willow.
I'm
Willow.
really excited. I love Willow. I can't wait to see what they do out of making it into a series.
Does Willow hold up? Because I haven't seen it.
It does.
It could potentially be another Dark Crystal.
See, I read.
Justice for the Dark. Hold on. Let me go on to this quick tangent here. Why the fuck did they cancel Dark Crystal?
I'm with you. I love that series, man.
It was so good.
It was. Tiki, you never got to it, right?
No. I have not seen it.
Really good, man. It's a great prequel. I mean, it's again, you wanted a part 2 because it kind of hypes things up, but even though it still plays even without it. Man, you hope it gets more, but it's unfortunately not the case.
Disney, pick up the Dark Crystal. I beg you.
They could. You got Henson. They could do
it. Yeah.
HBO Max. I've pitched HBO Max too. I think.
Well, I mean, yeah, you're right. We do it.
Yeah.
But it's still Sesame Street with the dark. I don't know if it's gonna. All right, fine. Anyway.
But off of that tangent.
Yes, but yes, I mean, I read Warwick Davis's book, and I mean, that's kind of where I kind of heard most of it. He had a really good time. I think it's a great win for Warwick Davis after getting to know the guy a little bit through his books. Like, good for him. This role meant a lot to him, and it was kind of like he was outside the costume for a change, outside the whole Wicket and everything. It's like, good for him. I think it's great that he's getting a little Willow series. I don't know what the turnout's going to be for this, but I hope so. I hope it's a big one.
It's such a fun movie. Like, honestly, I love this movie. I can't wait to see what they do with the series.
All right, so big screen. So the first Star Wars movie we are getting since the 9th one is Rogue Squadron in 2023 by Patty Jenkins, of course, the famed Wonder Woman director, doing assumedly a Rogue One prequel.
Anything Patty Jenkins I'm on board with.
Yeah, this sounds intriguing, and Rogue Squadron, that name carries a lot of weight with video games and everything. So, absolutely, I am down for this. I'm not even a Wonder Woman fanboy per se, but I think Patty Jenkins, her style just works really well with this timeline. I just hope that the characters are better integrated than they were in Rogue One.
Atomic Beast asks, so Willow's about Ewoks and leprechauns. Well, not quite, but...
I mean, kinda.
Really? Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, I guess it kind of is about...
Yeah, kind of.
Oh, yeah, right.
In a nutshell.
But yes, the other thing too with this, back to the Patty Jenkins of it all, again, more K2SO. I mean, I hope he's going to pop up in Andor, but if he doesn't pop in Andor, I mean, let's get him in Rogue Squad. Let's get more K2SO in there, man. He was a lot of fun. And also maybe I wonder if Cassian Andor and K2SO are going to appear in Rogue Squadron, given again the whole Rogue kind of connectivity of it all. But then again, there are other Rogues, presumably. There are other kind of rebels that could kind of be inserted in there. I don't know. As Jacob says in the comments, fighter pilots in space, interesting idea. And speaking of which, we're gonna touch on that a little bit later.
That's going to be like just that single sentence. You get the fun side of Star Wars out of that.
Yeah.
All right, so Ahsoka.
So this is great.
About damn time.
It's not surprising given the splash that she made this season, but I mean, it was kind of like it was foregone conclusion. But again, the important thing about this whole investors meeting is that we confirm things, that we say things, and also we say things to the shareholders, which means it's got to happen. I mean, otherwise people are going to be mad.
Yeah.
So it's happening, darn it. We're getting Ahsoka. Yes. And Favreau and Filoni producing it. Assumedly, Filoni's going to head this puppy, as he should. If he doesn't, someone needs to have their head examined.
All right.
I mean, like, an Ahsoka series was inevitable at this point.
Presumably, the premise is given what she said last time. She's looking for Thrawn, which will lead her to good old Ezra Bridger. The two that kind of disappear at the end of the little I do know about Rebels is Ezra and Thrawn. They kind of disappear under mysterious circumstances. Ahsoka befriends Ezra. She's looking for her buddy, and also maybe got an axe to grind with Thrawn. So that's kind of where we're left with her in Mando. So Ahsoka put in play by the ever wonderful Rosario Dawson. So yeah.
All right, so Rangers of the New Republic. This is, correct me if I'm wrong, Dragon, it's a Cara Dune spinoff?
Yes, and also answer Jacob's question. Yes, Ahsoka's a series. So Rangers of the New Republic, presumably it's the little thing we teased in Mando where she gets tossed a badge, and as we kind of saw a little bit of, she's become not only a marshal of Navarro, she's become a marshal of kind of her sector.
Mm-hmm.
So presumably, yeah, she's one of the Rangers of the New Republic. I mean, they haven't specifically said Cara Dune's going to be in this, but I'm just saying, just based on that, just connecting the dots. So these Rangers are essentially the pilots we've seen in Mando.
I'm good.
I'm kind of with you, Alex.
Really? I mean, you were talking about the whole Cara Dune spinoff and everything. I thought you'd be excited.
I like Cara Dune. I just think she's a great character in Mando. I don't need to see her do her own thing, honestly.
Some characters are meant to be side characters and not have their own thing.
Well, there's one other thing to mention here that might be interesting. Again, I can only imagine we can only spread a man so thin. But Filoni, of course, very much rooted in Texas for his upbringing, and kind of brings that to some of the work. And yeah,
I'm worried Filoni's going to turn into another, like, the Del Toro of Star Wars. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying, he might be spreading himself thin, like you said.
Well, to be fair, Bad Batch is in the can. We saw what he's done on Mando while that was going on, so that was so far so good. But you're right, we're now splitting it. We're now spinning two more plates, which is interesting. But again, one of the plates has been taken off the board, so I don't know. And Favreau's kind of Favreau could just man the next season of Mando by his lonesome. That's a question, though. And again, we've kind of taken the elements that worked and spun them off. So Filoni, I don't know. The point being, I think it could be manageable. What I'm getting at here with the Rangers in the Republic, some people have said Texas Rangers in space, which again, given Filoni's roots, could be a real passion project for him.
Now,
really interesting.
So you just mentioned something really interesting. So, taking all the elements of Mando that work and spinning them off, what is that going to leave Mando with?
Yeah.
Well, still, I mean, we have a whole bunch of other really talented directors that did a really good job. I know we're taking one really good one off the board there. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's so good. We've kind of we've given them some other real estate to explore. And I don't know, there's been some talk of maybe the three shows kind of like we may build like a crossover or something. Again, they haven't said this explicitly, but people presume three Mando connected series might meet up again at a time. I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know if it's going to work. I'm just saying it's also a possibility.
All right.
I'll admit I would have been more excited if I heard a Bo-Katan thing confirmed, but then again, show called Mandalorian, you could do more with certain other characters with very Mando helmets, or more Bo-Katan. Mando would not be left in the lurch, I don't think. I'm just saying.
Okay, so we have Lando.
Mando. Hey.
Do we know if it's going to be Donald Glover?
They have not said which one. All they've said is that the showrunner on this is the guy who did Dear White People, Justin Simon? Simon? Oh, it's a weird voice. Simon. All right. Justin Simon. And basically, the best theory I've heard from the guys who are really good at pitching this sort of thing is that it might go the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles approach.
just because I love Justin Simon, I'm excited for this.
Really? So, give me a baseline on Simon. How is Dear White People? How was his style?
I mean, I love Dear White People. It's been a while since I saw it, but like, I really loved it.
That's good to hear. And also, here's the thing: just to get in the Dear White People creator, that makes me think we're going Donald Glover. That's my instinct. And I'm just saying longevity wise,
hell out of it if they gave Billy D a whole series, considering the rush job they did with his character in Last Jedi.
Well, anyway, that's the point that Some people are
saying Skywalker, not Last Jedi. I'm sorry.
We could have our cake and eat it too if they go the young Indiana Jones approach, which essentially, for those who may not be aware, is that we opened every episode with old Indiana Jones. In this case, old Lando. We get a little bit of Billy D. Williams. Kind of sitting around looking cool, telling us like, "Let me tell you about when I did this." Let me tell you when I did this. And then we see Donald Glover, in the control seat, or perhaps it's mainly Donald Glover. Maybe we give like Lando an episode here or there of Billy D. Williams Lando.
Right.
Give him like a more like what's like an all over the years, or like the Calrissian. What was it? The Calrissian Chronicles.
Yes. Oh my God! They have to call it the Calrissian.
So that's what I'm saying. At the very least, I'm saying the events, even if they don't call the show, that'll be like the Calrissian Chronicles. Is like.
Oh my God! I forgot all about the Calrissian.
That's how. So we literally do the Indiana Jones Chronicles with the Calrissian Chronicles.
Yeah, I'm on board with like this anthology style, just jumping around Lando's timeline.
Mind you, all that's speculation. None of it's been said. All we said is we're doing it.
Yeah, I'm into that.
Good work.
All right, the Acolyte. Dragon, I help me wrap my head around this.
Okay, so I don't know anything about the Russian doll, but I know it's kind of
Russian doll was amazing.
Okay, you can vouch for it then. Okay, so the Russian doll. So the creator of the Russian doll show is her baby. This is her baby, where she's basically we're exploring the dark side of the Star Wars universe. You basically we've always been on kind of the light side of things, and we've shown the dark side. This time it's going to be from the dark side's perspective, and this is during a Star Wars that we've never seen before. It's a whole new era, man. This is interesting. So this is 200 years before the prequels. This is the end of the High Republic. So just to frame this, I'm on unfamiliar waters here, folks. So bear with me. Essentially, the Old Republic was 800 years ago. I guess 1,000 years ago from the prequels, technically. So basically, the Old Republic's 800 years from when this takes place.
Oh wow! Okay.
This is the end of the High Republic, which I guess would give.
Oh God, this is making me geek out a little bit because this is like going into Lord of the Rings territory, where we're going into like different eras.
Now again, I know nothing about the old
Lord of the Rings territory. This is Silmarillion.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah.
So we've always heard the Knights of the Old Republic talked up and everything, and obviously I'm very unfamiliar with how the Old Republic quite works. I'm just thinking like the when we really put into play the whole long time ago part of the Star Wars credo, it's going to get interesting to see how old can we make it in here with the knights and everything.
Pretty old, Dragon. Pretty old.
So it's going to be interesting to see that, and again, kind of in this again potentially we're in a Mando space, but again going further back and more. Again, isn't that kind of fun though? We're going to uncharted waters. And
absolutely. I'm really looking forward to it.
That's what I'm saying.
I think the one risk is that it turns out kind of like the prequels, where it's like, oh, this is really unfamiliar,
and especially because we're looking at the dark side, like that's just something we don't normally see with Star Wars. And knowing that this is coming from the person who made Russian Doll, like I expect this to be an incredibly nuanced and deep dive into like the psychology and the inner mechanisms on the dark side.
It's like kind of like a House of Cards.
Yeah,
literally a Russian doll, Tiki, as in layers upon layers upon secrets and stuff.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah. All right. Yeah, seems like it has a lot of potential.
Yeah.
Okay. Lastly, in the Star Wars news. Oh, by the way, Tiki, we got to call him out. Donovan Martin's here.
Oh, Donovan! Hey, how you doing, Donovan? Hey. Nice to see ya.
Also, he says the whole Rogue Squadron is Top Gun on steroids.
I could see that.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Yes. So, lastly, in the Star Wars news, we have a very interesting, could be really fun, a droid story.
Is this a short or
No,
what?
I hear it's like a movie. It's a special, I assume, movie length. I mean, it could be an hour. I mean, at points it's a special, so that's kind of.
This just sounds fun.
Yeah, so essentially, I'm pretty sure they confirmed it's animated for all intents and purposes. They keep saying they paired up with Lucas Animation, therefore it's got to be, it's.
Yeah.
So C-3PO and R2-D2, they're kind of dealing with a new player. They haven't said who they're going to be interacting with, but essentially the idea is, hopefully this kind of remains true. C-3PO and R2-D2 are our leads, and they were just kind of prepared off on an adventure via the new character on a misadventure of some kind. And this could be really special, just, like putting C-3PO and R2-D2 in focus for a change, kind of Timon and Pumbaa style. It could be really interesting.
Oh my god, don't tip me.
Right?
It also it's kind of like doing that droid show from back in the day.
Yeah,
yeah, that was what my mind first went to when I saw this.
Absolutely.
Okay, so guys, I think we're making pretty good time. We got through all the Marvel stuff or all the Star Wars stuff in a half hour. I think we should be proud.
Yeah. Oh no, we're gonna make up that time with Marvel because I have thoughts about every single one of these.
So folks, let me tell them how we're gonna break down the Marvel stuff, just so everyone knows. So, folks, keep it simple. What we're gonna do, because it's been a while, and again, we got a whole lot. Announced as well as kind of reminded. So basically, we're gonna go through. They've announced 2 phases of Marvel.
Basically.
We didn't get any of that phase because of all the chaos this year. So point being, it's still 2 phases of Marvel. So we're just going to go through the slate. We're going to maybe a little sparse on WandaVision because it's coming up. I mean, like next month. So we're not really going to spend pretty much any time on that except the release date. But we're going to go through the stuff, tell you what's new, give some thoughts. And at the very least, what I'm going to do? I'm going to give Mickey Fan the floor on WandaVision, just get his thoughts because I don't think we've
also really quick, Donovan. We're going to do tomorrow. We're going to be breaking down all the Pixar and Disney announcements. So by all means, we'll be talking about Disenchantment and a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
So WandaVision.
Yeah.
Wanda, probably the most underserved character in the MCU. So I am 100% hyped for WandaVision.
I think she had that one moment though that kind of turned everyone onto her, including me.
Yeah. I've always been turned on to her. I've been turned on to her since Age of Ultron.
I've always loved the moment where Vision saves her, and we've always had that. You're right, Mickey Van. She was great in the majority of the movie, but when we get the little tip-off of the WandaVision fate of just like he saves her from the falling city, like, yeah, it's great. And then Civil War, like you're rooting for these 2 crazy kids, and it gets better from there.
Part of me is wondering, are they going to bring back Pietro?
I've heard maybe.
Very possible, I think.
I've heard it's entirely possible.
I was talking about this with another friend of mine, where we were talking about WandaVision and how excited for it, and I mentioned, wait, they're going to be doing some really weird stuff with this. I wonder if they're going to bring back Pietro and bring him back for good.
I don't know about for good, but I could definitely see at least a cameo.
Well, you gotta remember, Mickey Fan, the big question about this whole thing is again, are these changes going to be permanent, or is the fact they're going to be what I mean is like, if they're permanent, that's probably going to, assumedly, if they're permanent, that's going to lead to the trouble that's going to be in the next Doctor Strange movie. So it's entirely possible they could stick around. Yeah. So I think Smart Money says I think at the very least he's going to show up, but he might stick around after he shows up for a cameo or so. But again, I imagine he's going to be a pretty big plot point. If she's bringing back Vision, she can possibly bring back her brother. I mean, he's got to stick around at least for like a couple episodes. So this is coming January 15th, 2021. The most exactly we know it's coming day of any of these. So just mark it down there. And Jacob points out that this is really leaning into the House of M in a way. And yes, it is. And possibly in a reversal, because the question is Wanda going to be the opening for how we get mutants in the MCU? Which, the point being, folks, we're not going to get mutants for a while. But importantly, the question is, how are we going to get the mutants? And that's kind of what these phases might be delving into with the WandaVision, Doctor Strange of it all. So entirely possible. And the really cool thing about all of these, because we're going through the shows and the series, and presumably in the order they're probably likely to come, because some of these it's guesstimating outside the ones that gave us years.
Yeah.
the interesting thing is like they're really touting off the thing that Netflix was just squandering for, and they wanted desperately. But unfortunately, the big papas couldn't let them have. They couldn't appear vice versa. The Netflix shows could coin the MCU all the live long day, but not the MCU could not bring in the Netflix stuff.
Right.
Unfortunately, but we can do it here. So they're relying on people being able to kind of bring in the two, or otherwise just they're going to enjoy the ride that is the movie, but they get all the supplemental stuff from the shows. So a lot of fun interconnective tissue.
And like I'm wondering, with how important the shows are going to be in addition to the movies, I'm wondering if they're going to move the big crossover stuff to the shows rather than the movies.
There is one example we'll get to that does raise that as an absolute possibility, Mickey.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yes, we will. All right, so you got out of your system. Should we move on?
Yeah.
Okay, now we're getting the.
Let's get into some more comments though.
Right.
Cobra Kai coming in January. That's fun. Let's see. It's going to be executive says it's going to be linked to the next Spider-Man movie, possibly, considering all the alternate universe of it all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and Tom Holland's going to have a cameo in the next Spider-Man movie. That's going to be great.
Yeah, right.
Okay, save the ale. Sit on it. We'll get there.
All right.
Okay. Is that good, or should I move on? Or
yeah, let's do it.
Okay, I'm Roll Boy Wade Wilson. So Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We finally, emphasis on the finally, we've gotten a trailer and we've got a release date.
The trailer looks fucking baller, man. It really does. They went all out with it.
Okay, so to go back to my WandaVision point, if Wanda has been the character who has been most underserved, Bucky and Sam are the characters who have been second and third most underserved. So I'm also excited for this.
Yeah, so of course, coming 2021, I'm very impressive trailer. I'll admit the only thing I wanted more from the trailer, and again, it's the first trailer. It's not even technically; it's like more like footage they've shown in the little investors meeting. It doesn't really count as a trailer for being all, I don't know, but I wanted a little more U.S. I want a little more U.S. agent. That's the thing I'm most excited for going into this thing. Is the idea that's kind of pulled from the book when Sam Wilson takes over for Cap is that the government does not want him as Cap. And the way we explore in this series, presumably, as we've seen with the One Thing, I mean, even if they're not saying it, I think visually we've communicated this. We have a new guy in a Captain America suit that is not Sam yet. And I love that seems to be our point this series of, like USA. By the way, played by Kurt Russell's son, Wyatt Russell, is playing U.S. agent.
I'm intrigued with what they're going to do with U.S. Agent.
That's the thing I'm most hyped for. There's a lot of things I'm hyped for in this show. This is my wish fulfillment. This is pretty much the reason I got Disney Plus for this show. By the way,
I just think the actual production values look off the charts, man. I mean,
it's a movie in 6 hours.
They look like Marvel movies.
It looks honestly better than some of the Captain America movies that we've gotten in the past.
You might want to tread carefully on that one. I don't know about that, but they do. It does look great.
Well, you can't say it doesn't look better than the first Avenger.
Well, the first Avenger looks great. For that, mind you,
So you're talking about Civil War?
Well, no, I'm saying Civil War probably looks better. Look, I'm saying there's a line, all right? I'm saying this is very impressive. Don't take that away from me.
Let's just say it looks good. Why do you got to take the other one down?
All right, Jesus. All right, don't get all over me for it.
Anyway.
Maybe it's just me not liking Civil War, but yeah.
So here's some things we've teed up in the trailer. Of course, they mentioned we didn't see him, but we mentioned we're getting Batroc again, which is really cool. We kind of showed him at the top of Winter Soldier, so we're getting more Batroc, the Leaper. Importantly, our big bad, presumably, we're getting Zemo, who caused a lot of damage in the Civil War. We had this shot with him, little statue to his family in Sokovia, a little meaningful bit there. And we get the Flag Smashers, man. All these, basically the guys in the mask with little bloody handprints. Those guys are the Flag Smashers from the comics. They're essentially they're kind of our terrorist group this season. They're going to be stirring the pot, and I just love how in the aftermath of Cap we are right now. We're getting a whole bunch of It feels like kind of an encore for Winter Soldier in a sense, because it feels like a political thriller. Again, I think the whole we're going to be kind of seeped a little bit in the Accords, and the whole like the U.S. has picked their Captain America. They don't care what Steve Rogers has chosen. Essentially, he's kind of passed the legacy on to both Falcon and Bucky. Again, I think there's a lot of really cool stuff could happen here. I mean, there was a tease at them doing something really big from the comics, especially for Sam Wilson, Isaiah Bradley. So Carl Lumbly, the wonderful Carl Lumbly, who played the Martian Manhunter in the Justice League animated show. He's great actor. He's speculated that he's going to play Isaiah Bradley, who essentially, after Cap went under the ice, the U.S. they tried the super soldier serum again on a black man, and they kept it a secret project. It's kind of like led to stuff like Luke Cage, like another attempt and stuff.
Very Tuskegee.
I know exactly. Yeah, could be really interesting, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm just love this whole like this thing we're kind of laying out here, that we're honoring the legacy. They got to earn the shield by the end of the season, being the idea, because we see it in the museum, and it's going to be like, I don't know. We didn't see what U.S. Agent Shield looked like. I don't know if it was like the new symbol they had on like a little field and everything, or if it was actually they gave him the Cap shield instead of them right now. I don't know.
And that to bounce off that, what I'm wondering is like, because there were rumors that Sam and Bucky actually got along with U.S. Agent really well at the beginning.
Oh, I like that idea.
It's possible, because I mean, Wyatt Russell, he could be a nice guy. I don't know.
Like Wyatt Russell is just such a charming person. Like I could definitely see him being super likable.
They wouldn't want to pick a lousy guy. They want to pick like kind of someone a little charismatic to be the new Captain America.
Let's be fair. This is the U.S. government.
That's the thing. So we don't know. I mean, if Thunderbolt Ross is picking the guy, he ain't picking a nice guy. Let's be honest. But I don't know if there's a focus testing group, I don't know. Perhaps they're going to try to evoke as much Steve Rogers as they can. Like, what's the closest thing we got to Steve Rogers? Kurt Russell. Okay, Spawn of Kurt Russell. We got it. But also, the new suits look great. Again, the whole this is as close as we're going to get to the comics for Falcon and Bucky. We put Bucky in kind of the classic kind of World War II suit, updated, and we have white and red on Falcon, which looks great.
Yeah, I'm really curious about this show, because I love Sam and Bucky so much. I love their dynamic. I can't wait to see this buddy political thriller XYZ.
It's everything I wanted, man. It's everything I want. Tiki, comment us.
I mean, yeah, like you said, I'm sorry, comment us. Okay, my bad.
I mean, if you wanted to say something too, you're welcome to. I just figured like you want to get to the comments. But
yeah, sure. So, the false Kurt Russell villain will be a villain or an antagonist as the show goes on. Yeah, pretty sensible to say that. Let's see major government conspiracy theory vibes. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's the inspiration behind Sam's line in the trailer: the government hasn't always treated African American heroes well in the past.
That's kind of at the start of the trailer. That's kind of where a lot of the speculation is for the whole Isaiah Thomas of it all. And again, Carl Lumbly is in it, and he'd be kind of age appropriate enough to kind of be that. Again, especially if he had like some sort of super soldier serum in him. I mean, it's been many years.
Yeah.
He basically looked like Cap at the end of Endgame, which is it's an approximation. It's about there.
Just a whole bunch of mystery coming in with this one.
And like Luke says, I feel like U.S. Agent will be a good guy with a moral dilemma, either do bad things or...
That would be interesting.
Luke, I think you're absolutely on the money there, because I think he's going to be a nice guy who's kind of in a pinch where he's the guy following orders with Cap. There was the buck stopped at a certain point. We're okay. No, I'm not going to let them tell me not to help people. I gotta do that, which of course led to all the Civil War of it all. So, all right. So it sounds like we should probably... Tiki, I'm sorry, is there anything else you wanted to say, or should we transition?
I'm good. Let's transition.
Okay, so briefly, because we don't have a whole lot on this, Black Widow. So Black Widow, we have...
Black Widow is just not enough too late.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like one of those "I'll believe it when I see it" kind of situations, right?
No, but like just in concept, you're finally doing a Black Widow movie after you've killed her off unceremoniously with not even a moment of mourning in universe.
Oh, come on. There was mourning, all right? I mean,
Oh, shut up, Tony
there
Stark.
was mourning. They were all
Tony Stark got more mourning than Black Widow when Black Widow was just as important to fixing everything, if not more than Tony was.
Oh, you go get your magic hammer and talk to the red floaty guy. That was a sad moment.
Was it though?
Yes.
Oh God.
Was it though?
Yes, it was. They were all devastated. What are you talking about?
Wait, did Nat get a funeral at the end of Endgame?
We're getting the movie and everything. We're gonna do anyway. Anyway.
Yeah, Black Widow is just not enough too late for me. I don't care.
I mean, even if it's too late, it doesn't look good.
It looks fine.
That's something. But no, here's the thing though. So Black Widow, I'm looking forward to as well. I kind of regret that because of all this, the rigmarole that's been happening within the pandemic times we find ourselves in. Black Widow is supposed to come out before Falcon Winter Soldier, and the connecting tissue, which I kind of neglect to mention, we have Elena, the new Black Widow who's going to appear.
Florence Pugh. I'm so excited.
That's the thing. So she's going to be in Falcon Winter Soldier, but presumably established in Black Widow. Again, it's all fine because Black Widow's a prequel, so I guess it times out fine ultimately at the end of the day. It's just would have been nice to kind of be introduced to her first, but we're getting her. So that's anyway. The big thing we do, the one thing we do know about Black Widow, in quotes, is that it comes out May 7, 2021, theatrically.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see about that, but they're hoping that by May we're going to be back in.
Put money on this ending up on Disney Plus before it ends up in theaters.
I think the question is it going to be premium on Disney Plus or not? I think that's the question, because we're not going to really be able to talk about here. We're going to mainly be talking about that next episode, folks, the next part. But we'll have to deal with that whole situation. But I think fingers crossed for theatrical, but ultimately I think if they're smart, they're going to go the soul route with things. We're going to make it available to everyone because they waited long enough for this one,
Yeah, no kidding. How many times has Black Widow been delayed?
Okay, let me think. Real quick. Okay, so it was supposed to come out like May 1st of last year. It was supposed to come out in May, and then it got moved to November. And I know it's definitely.
It's been 2 or 3 times.
I know it. Yeah, you're right. I'm just trying because Wonder Woman also got moved an inordinate amount of times. That's what I'm getting confused with. So Wonder Woman I can place better. Maybe it was April to May, and then it was pushed to November. Oh wait, no, it was pushed to October, then November. You're right. That's what it's 4 times. Like it's 3 or 4 times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then to next year, so that's the 4th or 5th time. There you go. It's like 4 or 5 times. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So, okay. Yeah.
This movie is apparently Marvel's White Whale.
All right, so let's move on to Loki.
Yeah. So like this initial trio of MCU shows, like I don't think you could have chosen a better trio of main characters. You got Wanda, you got Sam and Bucky, and you got Loki. And especially considering those are really the fan favorites.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Loki, of course, he used to be quite literally a rock star when you walk out on a stage at a Comic Con. I mean, people worship the guy.
Like I'm really, really excited to see what they do with these characters. Like,
this just seems like it has a lot of Ragnarok kind of charm to it with Loki, where it's kind of like Loki put into a situation where he's not quite sure how to handle himself, and he's kind of like improvising. He's sort of like doing things on the fly.
And remember, this is not exactly the Loki we had in Ragnarok. This is Avengers, like Mui, mustache twirly, but also mustache twirly.
Sure.
He was not mustache twirly.
Well, I mean, I'm saying not a mustache. You know what he did? Instead of the mustache twirl, he did the awesome smile thing. Everyone's like alone every time we did something sinister.
Yes.
That smile. That's what I'm saying. I'm just giving it like a name, but yeah, it's So yeah, this is coming May 2021. Essentially, what we've kind of seen, the little trailer we got, which is an awesome trailer, by the way, really great. Really great. Really, it builds a lot of intrigue. Like, oh my god, we're going all over the place in this thing. Loki's been recruited by the Time Variance Authority, the TVA. Now, this is a big deal. One, Owen Wilson. Owen Wilson is the head honcho of the place. Mobius M. Mobius, which essentially Mobius coincides with time travel, hence the name.
Yeah. So it's basically the Loki series.
Yeah, and essentially
Loki
he's like
comic series. I mean,
yeah. The Loki comic series is based. It's like a Loki agent of something or other. Agent Loki, essentially, is what it's called.
Loki, agent of Asgard.
There you go. Yes, excellent. So yeah, pretty much Loki and kind of all sorts of kind of fun shenanigans. Basically, the people have nicknamed it so wonderfully. They've nicknamed it Quantum Loki, which essentially it is. We're sending him through time. Quantum Loki shenanigans, alternate timeline, presumably.
I'm into it.
My favorite thing in the trailer we made, because I just finished a documentary on this from Memoirs last month. Loki as DB Cooper is awesome, and like escaping with the Bifrost, and this show looks so interesting, and I love it, again, with the whole connective tissue things, to tee it up a little bit here. It looks like, even as far back as Loki, what we're setting up here, WandaVision does it first, I'll admit, but the whole, I think our bad guy, in the sense, we're setting up Kang the Conqueror. I think we're setting Kang the Conqueror because the TVA ties into Kang the Conqueror because he's always messing with time. They're trying to protect time. And we're going a bunch of alternate timelines, like we see a destroyed New York from Avengers. We see a multiverse in the making. So all this, I think, is going to kind of come to a head in the Doctor Strange movie. It looks like, and then presumably, we're going to seed our bad guy in other movies down the line, and it could be quite interesting. And also, we hinted at the Living Tribunal, which we've kind of teed up in Doctor Strange as well. The whole the staff of the Living Tribunal, kind of fun stuff like that. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Is Loki coming through for Thor? Asked Donovan.
So I think Loki's been confirmed for Love and Thunder.
Are you sure about it? I heard. I'm not sure if it was confirmed. I know they speculate and assumed to be in Doctor Strange 2, which I could absolutely buy, given just what's happening here.
Yeah.
Imagine if he's working with Doctor Strange to stop Wanda in Doctor Strange 2.
I love that.
That's what I think it's going to. Think about it. Assuming we don't know.
I still want a proper sorcerer versus sorcerer fight between Loki and Doctor Strange.
Well, they're going to have that fight initially. It's.
Yeah.
But this is what I'm saying. The thing about it, now here's the thing: because of Loki being kind of we don't know if he's going to end up hero or villain by the end of this thing. And again, he might not be either. It might just be on his own side. But my point is, if he's still working for the TVA, again, Wanda, causing some trouble, perhaps in Doctor Strange 2. I mean, presumably he's going to be sent to deal with that. Therefore, he would have an absolutely good reason to be in Doctor Strange 2, and maybe have to work with Doctor Strange begrudgingly. I don't know.
Oh man, that'd be great.
Yeah. And again, Donovan, you're absolutely right. Making Loki DB Cooper is awesome. Also, people are losing their minds. We might have, kind of lady Loki, like Loki turned into a womanish as he does in the comics sometimes. People have been freaked out. Like, oh my God, is that Black Widow? We're really, from a distance, it looks absolutely like Black Widow. Technically, no. But I don't know if that's specifically supposed to be Lady Loki. I guess it is. I don't know why we gave her red hair, but we'll figure. Anyway.
Because I love the way they do Lady Loki in the comics, where Loki is very much a non-binary person, god, whatever you want to refer to them as. So I wonder if we might see a bit of that here.
I think. Well, again, I think we do the Lady Loki, Lady Loki stuff. I think it's possible, perhaps.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, again, because it's in that comic series, I mean, sure. I mean, that's our blueprint, much like the Tom King stuff is the blueprint for WandaVision. It is possible.
Yeah.
Going very comic-based on a lot of these series, but even Falcon Winter Soldier.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I think that the MCU and also the DC movies as well, they are at their best when they are taking from the comics.
Yeah.
Not direct adaptations, but they're taking the same concepts that the comics took.
Yeah, running with the idea in the MCU, which of course kind of rife with it's kind of perfect. It's kind of the perfect way to adapt these things. It kind of feels like again we're just kind of taking the basis there and kind of taking like a thing. It's an easier kind of like a bridge to build, so to speak. Speaking of bridges to build, perhaps we should bridge on to the next thing here. Marvel What If Season 1, 20.
Yeah, this looks really cool. We've been excited about this for a long time.
I live for what I've always loved. Every time I go to there's a sale at a comic shop, I always thumb through the What Ifs. I love Marvel What If so much. It's always been such a fun idea. I know DC's got the Elseworlds
What If ones, and there are some awful ones.
There are, but I mean, in here though, these look pretty cool. It's the thing I've always kind of loved, just in premise and idea, and just it was kind of like their way of competing with Elseworlds.
They're clearly going experimental with this stuff. What if T'Challa was Star-Lord? One
of my dreams come true. I've always wanted the MCU broached into What If. This is everything I could ever hope for.
Yeah, I
want to know what all the specific thing got me the most hyped. Dragon,
what are you looking
probably guess.
Let me guess. Marvel Zombies, Cap.
That's a close second.
Captain Peggy.
Well, no, we already knew that was coming.
That is true.
Let me see. Okay, the one you didn't. Is.
I'll just say the one, not storyline, but element of the trailer.
Oh, the whole Jeffrey Wright of it all, then, right?
Yeah. No.
Okay, what do you got?
Yondu, man.
Well, yeah, we already mentioned T'Challa, Tiki. I thought you mentioned something else, but yes, you're right.
Yondu.
Yeah, so Yondu is great. This honestly, the idea really got me as well as the whole making T'Challa Star-Lord, which we kind of knew was coming. We got to see it actualized, though. That was the big. It's like it just kind of occurred to me, oh my god. Technically, this is going to be the last performance Chadwick Boseman gives, which is and as Black Panther. Well, not as Black Panther, but as T'Challa, as Star-Lord. Which when I love the idea. We see Star-Lord in silhouette, but he steps out of the shadows and we reveal, oh my god, he's wearing the Wakandan colors, and it's awesome. Talking with Yondu, it's so cool.
I feel like I'm going to get a little choked up at the T'Challa episode, honestly.
I choked up watching the trailer of it, man. Just everything about the show looks great. We're going to get 10 episodes and 10 more. It's already been approved for a second season. This thing can and we're getting the MCU actors to do their voices. Yeah. I heard Chris Evans is going to be, and I know he's Steve Rogers, and I assume I don't think he's going to be the only one who doesn't show up, so I'm pretty sure he's going to be in it too.
Possibly.
Right. And again, Captain Peggy, absolutely. I'm with you there. Mickey fan, of course, digging out huge Peggy Carter fans. It's going to be a lot of fun. And also, it looks like we're doing there's one What If I can't pin down what exactly it is out of all the stuff here. There's going to be an offshoot of what happens in Iron Man 2, because there are two clips that we saw where we see Thor, which it looks like, I'm just guessing here, literally shot in the dark here, is that I think Hawkeye kills Thor in one of these. I think the idea is, what if Hawkeye killed Thor in the Thor movie?
Oh, God.
And the other one is Iron Man is something. It's like an alternative path for Iron Man 2, because we have Tony Stark eating the donut, and Nick Fury's busy week, perhaps, when he's finding Cap, and again, possibly, I don't know if that's going to be the same episode or not, of the whole Hawkeye thing and then the Iron Man 2 thing, because they are kind of, depending on how you want to look at it, you could place them around that same time, because after Iron Man 2, we go do Thor.
I'm pretty sure they're canonically in the same week.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. But I don't know if it's going to be two different episodes, or if it's going to be the same, the whole it's a whole chain reaction sort of thing for an episode.
Oh, that'd be a really cool episode.
That's what I'm saying. It looks like that might be a Nick Fury based a chain reaction. Where if Nick Fury's not there, Tony Stark doesn't get better. If Nick Fury's not there, maybe he, through Coulson, doesn't tell Hawkeye not to take the shot or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe maybe. So again, nothing but good things from this. I have no idea what the Doctor Strange one is, by the way. I have no idea what's going on there, but I'm sure it's going to be good. Also, Captain Britain, says Jacob. Well, which, yeah, I mean, she has the English shield. I mean, also, that's a really cool thing, too. I love that she's dealing with the sexism of the U.S., and it looks like she's going to reject it by going with the U.K., which is awesome.
Well, I mean, she is British, so...
Well, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. That's kind of what it was. What I'm saying is, I love that they have this great bit here where I asked for soldiers. Like, you have one. It's like, yeah, it's like her dealing with that. Like, I didn't want a lady soldier. You're going to get one. You're going to like it, buddy boy.
Did they send me daughters when I asked for sons?
Yeah.
Yeah. Very that.
Yep. Also, Robert Downey Jr. is showing up, executive.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, this one's going to go by lightning fast. Shang-Chi.
I'm excited for this.
It's happening. Ooh.
Yeah, I'm also excited for this, mainly for the Mandarin of it all, because I know nothing about Shang-Chi, but I'm sure he's going to be good.
Yeah.
Mandarin is definitely
Simu Liu is great. I can't wait to see what Simu Liu does with Shang-Chi. Anything Awkwafina is in, I am here for. Yeah, I'm excited. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is the first American-made superhero movie with an all-Asian main cast.
I'm sure it is. Yeah.
Director's also. Well, you mean just casting the movie? I mean, yeah. I mean, I think the only potentially non-Asian character in this movie is probably going to be is going to be Ben Kingsley, assuming he's in this, like we all hope he will.
And Ben Kingsley is Indian.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Even better. Okay, even better. Okay, all right. But yeah, it's a pretty groundbreaking, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so seriously, I mean, I've always been hanging on to this one because of the Mandarin, like the all hail the king. Sure, we have the big hanging chad, like the fake Mandarin's going to meet the real Mandarin. Yeah, I'm with you, Luke. I'm hoping to see Trevor Slattery too.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. So Shang-Chi, again, is like kind of the hanging chad from the Iron Man movies. I think we're all looking forward to. A lot of people say this could be the Iron Fist done right. Entirely possible. We'll see. Okay. So next on the docket. I'm sorry, Tiki, do you want to say it?
Hawkeye, yeah.
21.
So of course we've got a lot of casting news, including the most exciting, our goddess Dragon Vera Farmiga.
The one we pray to, man. It's Vera
Bishop! Kate Bishop!
Kate Bishop's great too. Again, Haley Steinfeld playing Kate Bishop, which again is a great addition.
This casting is perfect.
No, it is perfect, but Mickey fan, Dragon and I have a thing for Farmiga, man. All right,
we're longtime Farmiga fanboys. We worship the altar of Farmiga. The great goddess.
Vera Farmiga, really great.
And she's playing Kate's mom. She's playing, I believe, Eleanor Bishop. But yeah, no, seriously. I mean, Haley Steinfeld. I got that right, didn't I? I'm saying it real fast. Okay, Haley Steinfeld. Yeah, she was great Spider-Gwen in the Spider-Verse movie, and giving her Kate Bishop as kind of like the younger, is kind of like the younger protege to Hawkeye, and kind of a little damage from the Ronin years, passing on the mantle, do some good in the world, a little more grounded setting. Hopefully, New York. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, and I don't know if y'all have seen the set photos, but they have Pizza Dog.
Ah, it's cool.
They have Pizza Dog, which that's the best. It really is.
Those I believe Matt Fraction. I don't know if he continued on. Yeah, Kate Bishop was in the Matt Fraction comics.
Yeah,
the Matt Fraction Hawkeye comics were really great.
This is just pure Matt Fraction Hawkeye from what I've seen.
I kind of dropped off of the Matt Fraction books, but in the beginning it was really cool and really grounded, where it was like people recognize him as an Avenger, like he's kind of moved to the not the suburbs, and he's kind of moved down, just kind of again before he's like in the MCU now we barely have anyone in New York because now all the Netflix shows are gone. So hopefully we're going to amend that with stuff like Kate Bishop.
Yeah.
Other big casting, though. I mean, Farmiga, again, as much as Tiki and I are so satiated by that, we get like a legit kind of mother character.
Jacob, the only reason you say such terrible things about our goddess is that you have not seen Bates Motel.
He's just jealous.
Jealous.
Anyway, no, I'm kidding. Anyway, but no. So even if Farmiga, for some ungodly reason, doesn't float your boat enough as potentially one of the great mother roles in the MCU, which again is untapped potential. We've had mother figures, I know, but we haven't had I'd say a frigate.
We had a mother figure.
That's what I'm saying. We've had like kind of scene stealing moms. We haven't had like
singular. We've had a mother figure.
Right, and we just keep giving moms scenes. We don't do anything with them outside of that. It's like we just give them like a scene now and again, like to remind you, oh yeah, they're the mom.
Frigga deserved far better.
That's what I'm saying. Frigga, so far as Mickey Van says, like is the mom. It's like she's the Mother's Day of it all. I mean, she gave her a lovely send off in Endgame. What more can it was Rene Russo, man, Rene frickin' Russo. But anyway, so some other casting news.
You asked what more could I have asked for? I could have asked for her to not be killed off in the worst Marvel movie.
It was a stirring loss, though.
She was still killed off in the worst Marvel movie.
But we brought her back and gave her a great send off, though. We gave her 2 great send offs, technically, if you look at it.
She was still killed off.
All right. Anyway. But anyway, some other casting, because again, there's a lot of casting. There's one exciting bit of casting Tiki doesn't know about.
Oh, okay.
It's not none he's going to recognize, but it's a really cool character. I think he's going to be excited about. Anyway, so here's what we're doing. We know Tony Dalton, our guy, from Breaking Bad.
Oh my God!
The Albuquerque verse, aka Better Call Saul specifically. Tony Dalton, the great Lalo Salamanca.
This guy is just pure magnetic energy, man. I want this guy to play a Bond villain.
He's got a really juicy role too, Tiki. Now, assuming they go the route, the character he's playing from the comics, I don't know if how far they're gonna go with this, but he is the swordsman from the comics. Hawkeye was trained by 2 people. He's trained by swordsman and trick shot.
Oh, that's gonna be good.
He's playing Jack Duquesne, that kind of shortened from the full-on French. Here's the thing: he's a character as a Frenchman. I don't know if they've curbed the Frenchness just for Tony Dalton or not. I'm not sure. He could play a Frenchman. He has the mustache for it. It could work. I don't know.
Tony Dalton can play French. Come on.
I know, but we'll see. I mean, they changed it from Jacques to Jack. I don't know. We'll see. It's cool either way. Regardless, Tony Dalton's in this, and I'm very hyped. And he's playing the mentor turned bad guy. So Hawkeye's mentor's turned bad guy on him.
Ooh.
That's what's going to be interesting. If these guys are coming back for vengeance, to kind of put the new protege through her paces. I don't know, or maybe we just keep him a good guy this go around. I like M'Baku, for example. M'Baku, bad guy in the comics, turn him into a kind of a nice kind of supporting character. Either way, could be really interesting. Let's see. Beyond adult, we also yet again we're getting Florence Pugh as the new Black Widow. She's going to be in this too, which is really fitting given how close Black Widow and Hawkeye were.
So, I didn't know about that until you just said it, but like, are Yelena Belova and Kate Bishop gonna have a friendship?
I would assume so. I mean, that's kind of the presumption you get. Okay, next generation Hawkeye Black Widow. It's gonna be these 2 kids. I
really want, mostly because we do not have enough female friendships in the MCU. But
you're gonna get plenty of them this phase, buddy boy. So especially next phase 2, we're gonna have a lot of great plucky female.
We're gonna talk about it.
Brian Darcy James, he's going to be in this. We don't know who he's playing yet, but Darcy James, he's good. Yeah. And here's the most exciting one.
I would assume it's Jarvis.
No, not that one. You're thinking not James Darcy. We're talking the guy who played he's in 13 Reasons Why as Hannah Baker's dad. He's in the kitchen with Melissa McCarthy. He's played Shrek in the musical. That guy. Anyway,
Darcy's.
Too many Darcys. So, coolest one, we have a really good pool here. I don't know exactly how they're going to do this, but we have Maya Lopez, a.k.a., and it's not the actress name. I don't know, the actress is kind of a newcomer. It's Maya Lopez, a.k.a. Echo.
Echo!
Yes, you know who it is. We're getting Echo. Now, Tiki, Echo is a Daredevil character.
Does this mean we're getting Daredevil too, though?
Now, I don't think because again, at this point, this is in production before we'll talk about the potentials of Daredevil. But the point being, I don't think we're necessarily going to be able to say Daredevil yet with her.
Are we at least going to mention Daredevil?
That's what I want to, but I don't. I want him to make it. I was saying we're getting Echo, and she has some Daredevil credits, and potentially, if we introduce a Daredevil, she could then factor in the things. I don't think it's going to be verbatim, given the relationship those characters have. Yeah. But the point being, it's a sweet pool. So Echo is a Native American deaf character who's kind of a most deadly agent sort of character, and she put on the Ronin. I'm sorry, Mickey, go on.
She's going to be played by a deaf actress.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
And the other thing too is that essentially the way, and again, so don't expect this in the series, Tiki, but it's long story short in the comics is Kingpin had her father killed, but her father in his dying wish had Wilson Fisk raise her. Mm-hmm. As his own daughter. which was basically as the most like deadly agent, she can do like the Taskmaster thing where she can copy people's moves and everything. And he sent her to kill Daredevil, and essentially, she kind of fell for Daredevil. Given the age difference, I don't think is going to happen this go around. One, we don't have a Daredevil yet, and two, the age difference. But the point being, just she, a really interesting character in the comics. She became Ronin for a spell, so I don't know. Maybe she'll take on the guise of Ronin eventually. I don't know. I mean, if Hawkeye completely packs it in, maybe I don't know. But Echo's a big one. Good character, could be really interesting. Going to be changed up for sure, but I'm looking forward to it. And also, yes, Luke, I'm hoping for the Tracksuit Mafia too. I don't think we're going to get it, but I'm fingers crossed, buddy. It'd be awesome. If we're doing the Matt Fraction stuff, Tracksuit Mafia is awesome.
Yeah, I didn't expect to be this excited for Hawkeye, honestly.
I know, right? It's really cool. And they had like a logo and her in the suit. It looks great. Okay. Yeah. And Hawkeye's kids are going to be in it too. No word on Cardellini yet, but I mean, how can you not? If we're going to have the kids in there, let's get Cardellini. Yeah. All right. Okay, that brings us to Miss Marvel. Now, Tiki, we're excited for this for a special reason, aren't we?
Yeah, for a very particular reason.
I know who he's playing.
How big of a role does he have?
I mean, it's a big recurring role, I'd imagine.
Really?
I mean, let me put it this way: he's not playing a named character. Well, we'll get there. I'll tell you.
Okay.
Let's we're talking Miss Marvel. So Miss Marvel is coming in 2021 as well. Miss Marvel's character.
Kamala Khan.
Yes, Kamala Khan. So she's risen to quite a great deal of prominence in the coming years, especially since the Avengers game came out. She was kind of the main kind of POV character in that game.
Yeah, she's. I've loved Kamala Khan from day one, as I'm sure most people have. But I'm so excited to finally see her in the MCU.
Yeah, I was unsure about her at first because I don't know anything about Miss Marvel. I haven't played the game yet. I'm looking forward to it, so I was kind of getting my eyes into it. But I recently, in preparation for this, I kind of did a little digging into her, and she's a fascinating character. I got to be honest. I imagine.
Oh, G. Willow Wilson, just I love Kamala Khan.
So
she is one of my top 5 favorite fictional characters.
That's good to hear. So the thing with Kamala Khan is that she's really what I've kind of come to learn about her. And Mickey, I guess correct me if I'm kind of dropping the ball on any of this. Is that for my little research, my little deep dive here is she's kind of like it's kind of a Muslim identity story. It's kind of like she kind of like comes into her own through her powers, which essentially, for all intents and purposes, like what is she mainly a shapeshifter? That's kind of her main.
It's hard to describe.
I mean, she can, she changes her appearance. She can like stretch her arms and everything. I presume shapeshifting.
So it's basically what Reed Richards can do, except instead of stretching, she begins.
Okay, so it's a size manipulation as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so she can't like shapeshift or anything, but she can like change. So basically, in so many words, it's Ant-Man crossed with Reed Richards.
Gotcha. And that's another thing, too. That was another reason I was kind of maybe at first, again, I wasn't like saying, oh, boo for Miss, but I was like a little skeptical. Her powers are really hard to realize.
Yeah.
But then again, eventually we're going to have to cover catalyst of Reed Richards, so it makes sense, though. I mean, eventually we're going to have to cross it there. I mean, hopefully we're going to do it better than we've done it before, but, it'll work.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious how they're going to do her powers.
Because she doesn't have gloves and everything, man. She's like, it's going to be like, like usually like a giant bare hand or something. So it goes. But that's the thing. So basically, a little, kind of Muslim girl uses Captain Marvel as a role model, which I mean, in the MCU even, bear in mind, female characters, I mean, we have them, but a lot of them aren't quite name recognized, like Captain Marvel. Like, Captain Marvel has the whole suit and everything.
Off the top of my head, you can kind of think of 3 big ones who would be role models.
You have Wasp, but how many people know about Wasp yet? I mean, people don't really recognize Ant-Man yet. Basically, Captain Marvel's like the only option, which kind of makes sense.
Marvel, Peggy Carter, maybe Black Widow.
That's what I'm saying. Black Widow no longer around is what I'm saying. Like kind of like the living, but I guess that doesn't really have much of a bearing on like who you idolize. But fair point. Anyway, so thing Tiki and I are really excited about. So one of our guys from Just Giggle It, Sagar Sheikh. Sagar Sheikh is playing Kamala Khan's older brother.
Oh, nice.
So presumably, I mean, I don't know how big a role he's going to have, but the whole show's about family. The family's going to be a component of the show, so presumably he's going to be in a lot of scenes.
God, I'm really excited about that. That's
so
trippy to see.
Yeah, we cover a lot of sketch comedy with Sagar shaking at Mcu Cameos, so we're really excited for our guy here. It's like this is a big break for him. He's in the Saga, a guy we've talked about is in the MCU. How amazing!
Yeah, how trippy is that?
Oh my goodness!
Didn't Trixie Mattel just do a thing with Just Giggle It?
I'm sorry. One more time. What's the name?
Didn't Trixie Mattel just do a thing with Just Giggle It?
Well, if she did, it was in a really bit part because I don't recall. We've covered these things really thoroughly. I don't. The name does not ring a bell. If it was recently, we haven't seen it yet. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure. Hang on.
Well, give me a sketch
It
name.
might have been a totally different
sketch comedy thing.
Yeah,
I think that's possible because I think we would recognize it. But yeah, so Tiki, I mean, Kamala Khan, whole Miss Marvel. I mean, I assume you're a little bit of a new. What are your thoughts?
I'm a newcomer to it. I think it's exciting. To me, I think it could potentially be like the Shazam of the MCU, where it's just like a nice, sort of wholesome family dynamic going on. And I think that's the best part of Shazam. Could be the best part about this.
And Miss Marvel, again, she presumably, we know at least she's going to be back in another project. Presumably, she's one of our heroes that's going to be kind of coming back. And there's this thing called the Rising, or the Rising Tide, or not the Rising. They have like the Rising Heroes, like this group of young, promising, the female up and comers.
Young Avengers.
Just Young Avengers, or is it?
I feel like they're setting up Young Avengers.
Oh no, I think you're right. I'm saying I thought there's like a specific name they're pulling this from, called like the Rising or something, like kind of like a series where they had like a lot of these characters, like your Kate Bishops and your.
There was an all-female team. I can't remember the.
Like Squirrel Girl was on it too, but
yeah.
But regardless, what I'm saying is like most likely ultimately bridging to Young Avengers. I think what we're kind of building through like the Rising or whatever it's called, like the lineup.
A-Force.
It was
A-Force, yeah.
A-Force, there you go. A-Force. So in building that building that lineup, we're kind of building that point. And Miss Marvel's going to be around. She's going to pop up in a few things. Like we're building kind of a regularity with a lot of these these new characters.
I appreciate. I think that they're really leaning into the fact that this is an interconnected universe.
Yes, which again is one of the reasons we love the MCU. It's all again like Marvel. You could turn a corner, you could run into a guy.
Yeah, which I really didn't get that from the Infinity Saga.
Really? I mean, we had a lot of people there. We had a lot of people.
You had Black Widow showing up in Winter Soldier, and you had Doctor Strange's cameo in Ragnarok, but it didn't happen to the level that it's happening here.
Fair enough, and bear in mind, a lot of this is again so far we haven't seen it yet, but again, presumably this is all sounds like this is all exactly how it's going to go down, which is still pretty exciting.
Yeah.
All right, okay. Before we move on to Miss Marvel, Mick fans, confirm me, yes or no here. Did she actually swallow pin particles to get her powers, or is that my?
I don't believe so.
I don't know if I'm making a joke here or not. It
was a. There was like a big Terrigen Mist. Terrigen Mist.
Oh, so she was. I know the Terrigen Mist is, so she was part of the Inhumans then. So
yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. Oh yeah, and again, we are getting Inhumans done right because we did the one non-feather in Marvel's cap is.
Oh dear, yeah, that was embarrassing.
I mean, look, I don't think it's. Let me say, I don't think it's god awful, but it is definitely it's just outside maybe like an episode or two. It's like we're kind of linger there. Like, see, these characters are cool, but we're just kind of late. We're just kind of why are we off the moon? That's the question. Why are we not on the
The Inhumans were wasted.
They were. It was a bad idea to give them a series instead of a movie. We should have gave them a movie, and we didn't. Yep. One time going to see this is why I took Disney Plus so long, because we tried it with Inhumans, and it's like this. We gotta go back to research and development on this one.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, this one's gonna go by real fast. The Eternals. So this is
what is there to even announce besides hey, we got a date?
Yeah, just
waste this fucking cast.
They got a really great cast, including the great Brian Tyree Henry. It's coming out November 5th, 2021. I'm going to say this on Eternals, guys. I'm legitimately worried for Eternals because I think this one getting bounced, like Black Widow is still going to draw a crowd no matter what. It's Black Widow. There's some intrigue there. We have the David Harbour. I mean, they have Russian Captain. There's a lot to glom. And Taskmaster. There's a lot to glom on to. And the new Black Widow with all that. There's a lot of glom on there. With the Eternals, though, it's an unknown. It's like Guardians, but we keep promising and we don't deliver. That's the problem. It's the fact that we keep, hey guys, Eternals. Okay, I'm interested in Eternals. And all this stuff and all these series leading up to it. And like, hey, Eternals. I think this one's just kind of like the lazy, like it's Marvel. They're going to go see it. Where I don't know. It's kind of a shame, man. This could be good. I don't know.
And that's why I'm so excited for this one. The cast. This might be the best cast of a Marvel movie ever.
Good cast. I mean, Kumail's in this too. He's Nanjiani. He's
Richard Madden, Angelina Jolie, Kumail Nanjiani, Kit Harington. I can keep going.
Exactly, but I hear you though. I mean, that's the thing. Eternals are a hard sell too because this is a harder sell than Guardians. I feel. I mean, outside like they're Celestials. That's the big, essentially the big draw. But outside of that, it's like,
if you don't. One, if you don't do this right. Two, they just don't advertise it right.
Gotcha. Yeah, and advertisement's been kind of their downfall. But let's talk about something that is kind of like just the word of mouth has been advertisement enough for this thing. It doesn't even have a title yet. Let's talk about the untitled, quote-unquote, Spider-Man 3.
What the heck is going on with this thing? Like Mickey fan said, it's nice to know that Tom Holland is going to have a cameo.
Yeah.
Well,
Zendaya starring, Tom Holland cameoing.
You know what I think is ridiculous? We have the most exact date of any of these things here, yet we don't have a title for this movie. It's December 17th, 2021, and yet Untitled Spider-Man movie. It's
because they can't decide which home pun to use.
I know what I'm saying. Why is it taking that long? It's gonna be home something. All right, it's not like the Endgame mystery. Okay, it's gonna be home something. We know it at this point. Either home something or dazzle us. I don't know, just something. Here's the thing. The ridiculous thing is, look, I think we're all in some way, shape, or form, we're looking forward to the next Spider-Man movie, but of all the confirmations we got from this flippin' investors meeting,
oh god,
you mean to tell me all the speculation, all like we're announcing things, but we're not exactly getting it from the top down or the actors involved? We can't just get a simple confirmation on anything with a Spider movie except that Doctor Strange is going to be in his movie. What's the deal?
To be fair, I think that's probably more of a Sony thing.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, but not even a title? Really?
It's technically a Sony movie.
No, Bob Chapek probably has his eye on Sony for his Bob Iger-esque acquisition.
Now, Tiki, in all fairness, you're all right. I didn't consider the whole, I guess that's why it wouldn't necessarily be included, because it is Sony, and they're holding the reins for dear life with this. But it just feels so ridiculous. Even from Sony, we can't just get a confirmation. So far, what we've heard is, like, the two that we've heard, and there are other more outlandish ones. We've heard Doc Ock, Alfred Molina coming back for Doc Ock, which I love. That one sounds more true than the next one. I mean, I'm praying to God we get Daredevil. The other one's been Daredevil, who's been announced, but by the same token, Charlie Cox hasn't said I'm in, and Marvel.
Yeah, I think it would only make sense given where we are in the story. We've been saying that since the end of Far From Home.
Matt Murdock is Peter Parker's lawyer.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, here's the thing. Even if Daredevil doesn't suit up,
you don't need Daredevil at all. I will be perfectly content with Charlie Cox playing Matt Murdock. I will be perfectly content with that.
It always bothers me so much. Marvel has done Kevin Feige. I mean, the man, when he did this panel, the man owns the room. Kevin Feige gets it done. You put trust in Feige. Feige's famous, to quote the Deadpool pizza box. Feige, man, come on. But what I'm saying is, you tell me there's money on the table with the Netflix shows, and at the very least, the one that has never dropped, Daredevil, man. We can't just take the money.
Season 3, I will still maintain season 3 arguably the best season.
And that's what I'm saying. I mean, Matt Murdock, if Matt Murdock shows up, even if it's just Matt Murdock, which again makes story sense because Peter Parker needs a lawyer, he's got nowhere to hide, he's our guy. Just having Charlie Cox there opens the door. It also just says it all mattered. It it counted because same thing with Agent Carter. We saw Jarvis appear once in Endgame. We saw James Darcy appear, and that was everything. I was like, Agent Carter counted. We already knew it counted, but it's like it's like that confirms it. It's in the movies. It was like that was a big thing, and Daredevil having Charlie Cox be in Spider-Man just to appear would be everything. Just saying that show you love, that excellent show that was better than half some of the MCU movies from certain faces. It counted. I mean, we're not just going to recast. We're just going to paint over. I mean, we get Cox. Most likely, we're getting D'Onofrio. Maybe if we're lucky, we get more. But just Cox, then D'Onofrio. That's what we need. The little victories, and the little victories that make sense. And on the Doc Ock thing, just in case we're getting Jamie Foxx and Alfred Molina, presumably. Everyone else, I don't trust until I get these two confirmed. Hear people throw Topher Grace in there, which I don't think is happening, but I'm just saying.
I really surprised. I really Grace happened.
But here's what I'm saying. I think Doc Ock will handle one of two ways.
Tom Hardy is more likely to happen than.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
That's why I don't trust anything. This the Doc Ock thing.
I don't. Was I the only one who did not like Tom Hardy's Venom?
I mean, I liked it better than Topher Grace's Venom.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I like the whole Venom. That's the only part I like about the movie is the dynamic between the Venom symbiote
I liked their dynamic. I just did not like Tom Hardy.
I mean, I don't want to get into a whole Venom thing right now. Let's just. Anyway, my point is, I think the speculation I have is that with Alfred Molina come back as Doc Ock, presumably, is that
Fox has been confirmed, right?
Well, I mean, as Luke says in the comments here, for some reason Jamie Foxx is denying his role as Elektra after confirming it on Instagram. Sony is keeping that man on a leash, and essentially that's the problem with a lot of this. Sony's just keeping everyone in the dark where they're thinking people can't put two and two together. And honestly, with all the other casting, where there's smoke, there's been fire. And we've said someone's appearing, traditionally like Michael Keaton. He might be playing the Vulture. Guess what? He ended up playing the Vulture. Mm-hmm. They're in talks. Usually talks... and not always, but at least in the MCU's case, talks lead to the role. I'll tell you. But anyway, so Doc Ock can go one of two ways. One, we do the J.K. Simmons thing, where basically we have the MCU's version of Doc Ock be Alfred Molina, but a new take on Doc Ock, which could still be cool. But I think what everyone's with the whole Doctor Strange of it all, the possibility of Spider-Verse in live action, we could do an assemblage of the missing pieces of the Sinister Six. We have the pieces we set up, which are, Manda, we have, Scorpion, Scorpion, Vulture, and Shocker, for example, is to give, three characters there. Possibly Mysterio as well, which would be great. Again, as a projection or however they're going to finagle that.
I don't believe for a fucking second that Quentin Beck is dead.
That's what I'm saying. Either he's live, or again, just finagled to be a projection. The point being, he's back somehow. We know that much. Anyway, so we have those guys confirmed. I'm saying is we fill in the blanks with perhaps like an Electro and a Doc Ock being from those movies, or again, to maybe swap out a member. If we're going to introduce one new guy, maybe in lieu of the Shock or something. Craven. Let's introduce Craven.
I think it was a fucking waste to not play the long game with Mysterio and have him really manipulate Peter over the course of several movies rather than just.
They did frame him for murder and out his identity. It's pretty big.
Yeah, but give me the full on, oh, you were my father figure and you betrayed me storyline. That's what I wanted.
Well, it is interesting, and again, if he comes back, they're going to have some issues to sort out, big issues.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's what I'm saying. Also, being Craven the Hunter is if we're going to introduce a new guy, let's do Craven. Maybe Stefan Kapicic, Tiki, yeah. Let's bring Kapicic.
You know it, right?
we do Craven because there's going to be a manhunt on for him. If we don't do the Sinister Six, we do Craven. But let's just do the Sinister Six at the very
Craven, least. I will say, is probably out of the Spider-Man villains we have not seen adapted into the live action, the one I want the most.
I mean, it's his time because again, he's on there's going to be a hunt on for Spider-Man. It's his perfect time to go up. And again, maybe he's the last cog in the Sinister Six, along with Doc Ock. I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting.
Oh, Donovan made a very interesting observation. I don't know if you guys knew about this.
I have never noticed that.
I have not noticed this. I know he's in the background of other scenes. The point when we say Quentin Beck is in the airport when Peter gets home from Far From Home, implying that he's alive.
Ooh.
I gotta go look that up, man. They probably just reused. They could have just reused the footage. I'm gonna take. I'll take what I can get, man. I'll take it. Anyway, so point being, Spider-Man. Ugh. All right. Wanted some peanuts. Speaking of Spider-Man, we lead into the Doctor Strange movie, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Sam Raimi.
Yes, March 2022. Sam Raimi!
It's weird that there's going to be a Spider-Man MCU movie coming out and a Doctor Strange movie, and Sam Raimi is directing one of them, and it's not the Spider-Man one.
Crazy.
Oh, yeah, that is. I'm like...
And we're probably gonna get like Bruce Campbell as the Quentin Beck from an alternate universe in this.
Oh please God! Oh my God! Oh,
it'd be so.
It's gonna be. For a fact he's going to be
Baker Wizard, please.
We know two things are going to be in this movie, okay? Because per the Sam Raimi tradition, well, three things. We know three things are going to be in this movie per the Sam Raimi tradition. But Bruce Campbell's going to be in it. We know the Delta's going to be in it. The car, it's in all the movies. Like basically, his Pizza Planet truck. It's in all the movies. And his brother, Ted Raimi. Those are the three things are going to be in the movie.
Right.
They're going to be in there somewhere. Maybe Hoffman. Oh my God, we got to have Hoffman and J.K. Simmons from. Oh my God. Anyway, so we announced a new character for. Pretty much, we already knew the stuff with Doctor Strange, except we revealed a new character. America Chavez is going to be in this.
Yes.
So you know America Chavez.
Chavez. Oh my God, I love
this. She's also from the Rising team. I'm thinking of the right team, but again, it might be in the A-Force. I'm not sure.
I feel like such a third wheel on this podcast, by the way. I just want to acknowledge that. I just want to, the reason I haven't been saying much is just because, Alex is just kind of stepping in with, oh my God, yeah, all those people. I'm like, I'm
very happy you're here, people.
So I just want to quietly acknowledge that I am very much the third wheel here right now.
If you want to jump in, you can take the lead.
There's nothing to jump in with because I don't know any of these people. And you guys are sufficing quite well of your conversation, by all means.
All right. So
I just want to acknowledge it.
Hey, well, just don't get bored. Just stay with us.
Yeah.
Also, we're getting Rachel McAdams. She's coming back as Christine, the other night nurse, not Claire Temple, the other night nurse.
Yeah, she's got her own show.
Yep. But America Chavez, Tiki, she is an LGBTQ character, and also she crosses over Miss Marvel quite a time. So again, we're setting these guys up.
Yeah, that's cool. All right.
So she is her, and I presume she's in the movie because Mickey fan, correct me if I'm wrong. One of her powers is interdimensional travel, which would come in handy in Multiverse of Madness, I'd imagine.
Is it?
I read somewhere that she had an interdimensional travel ability, which I imagine why the heck is she in this movie? Well, perhaps that's why. I don't
know. No, she doesn't.
Well, then I know nothing. Okay, all right.
I'm just here for I'm just here for America Chavez.
Well, I know nothing about this character. I'm just speculating why she's here, but I'll take the win. Again, she's going to meet up Miss Marvel. We'll see. There's going to be a lot of characters in this movie, presumably Loki as well. Let's go for it. Okay.
Yeah, and
bring
Wanda.
Wanda. Of course, she's presumably going to be our antagonist.
At her full power, like that. I've been waiting for this.
I think the conflict of the movie is going to be Mordo's coming back. Remember, Mordo's big thing is that no more sorcerers. Now, I think what's going to happen here is Mordo is going to try to either kill Wanda because of that creed, or try to take her power to basically use the House of M thing, to wipe out all the sorcerers.
So here's my theory. I think that Mordo is basically going to be playing the role Pietro played in House of M. Where he's just kind of manipulating Wanda for very, very different reasons than Pietro did in House of M.
It's a good idea. I could see that.
I think that's where they're going with it.
Interesting. Maybe Loki is kind of a cog and a wrench in the whole thing. He's just going to seize the power opportunities for everything in the chaos.
So, branching off from all of that, I can just picture the power trio shot of Doctor Strange in the middle, Wanda on one side, Loki on the other.
It'd be cool.
Ready to kick Mordo's ass.
Awesome. Okay, now before we move on with the Doctor Strange of it all, Jacob in the comments made a really great observation here that in Spider-Man 2 did reference Doctor Strange.
Absolutely.
And I think it's so wonderful too that in presumably in this next Spider-Man movie we have Doc Ock, and the same Doc Ock from the movie in which we referenced that Doctor Strange thing is so trippy. How over a decade later, so
it's all coming full circle.
We name dropped Doctor Strange, and now Doctor Strange in a Spider-Man movie, and let alone within the naming of Doc Ock. It's crazy. Bananas. All right. So speaking of Loki, also, let's move on to Thor: Love and Thunder, May 6th, 2022. We got some casting.
Yeah, Christian Bale. That's kind of surreal.
I knew he was going to be in this. We didn't know who he was going to play. Some people thought Beta Ray Bill, but no, not for Christian Bale. We're getting someone else. Tiki.
I know nothing about this guy, man. Again, I have nothing to say.
I thought you might like to say
Gore the God Butcher. Yeah, I like the name. I know nothing about him at all.
I'm kind of shocked we didn't get some King in Black shit out of this.
Well, essentially, we're kind of teeing that up, aren't we?
Yeah, right. Yeah, because Thor is all black. Yeah.
Well, if I'm right, again, I'm not into the whole King in Black stuff we're doing right now. I've seen that on the stands. I haven't gotten into it. This is a Jason Aaron character. And Jason Aaron's done a really great. He's a great writer. I love what he did on the Punisher when he did his little Punisher Max series, which I think that was when Tiki and I were going through Daredevil. He was always he wrote my barometer for what an excellent bullseye would be, the most psychologically twisted bullseye ever. So Jason Aaron's done some impressive Thor stuff from what I've heard. And Gore the God Butcher. I mean, long story short, the guy's got a sword that could kill a Celestial. So that's a big deal. This guy is like possibly the biggest bad. I mean, short of Hela, perhaps. He might be more powerful than Hela. Again, Mickey Fan could speak to that more than I could. But
Hela is so different between the comic and the movies that, like, it's hard to say.
Point being, Gore the God Butcher, he's a big deal. This guy's going to be a big threat, which basically is going to be an all-hands-on-deck sort of thing, hence the whole Jane Foster of it all, presumably. And also, speaking of girl power...
Foster Thor!
Yeah, again, Jane Foster Thor, which hopefully will turn out well, just given how underrepresented Jane Foster has been in these Thor movies. So, fingers crossed. Taika Waititi's in the fray.
100%, I believe that this is an apology to Natalie Portman.
I would hope so. And again, she couldn't gussy herself up for the Endgame movie. That concerns me. But you know, I have to use a deleted scene for her in that. But you know,
well, like she didn't. They used stock footage for.
That's
her.
What I'm saying. She couldn't be bothered to appear in the movie. She had to get stock footage.
Well, maybe they didn't need her.
Well, still, though, I mean, everyone else is coming. She couldn't go out of her way. Like, hey guys, am I going to be in the movie? Can I stop by?
Because like. If I remember
correctly, we need to get going. Come
on. All right. Okay, we got to curb the.
Like seriously, like we with so many bullet points, we can't keep like speculating and going off on these tangents. I'm not usually the one to police this kind of stuff, but this is kind of getting ridiculous. So,
right. Well, you know, it's not there's a lot of news or anything.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, not every news we can't just go off on tangents on every news item.
All right, fine. Keep it tight.
So what you're saying is this is not more poo talk.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Very much so.
Okay, let's rein it in. Okay, so Lady Sif also returning, and also a few Guardians in the mix, at the very least Peter Quill. So presumably this is all pre-Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So, yeah.
I don't know what to say to that. Anyways.
Right. Okay, Black Panther 2 is coming July 2022. We've confirmed...
It's how they're going to pull this off.
Yeah? So you know, we're not recasting Bozeman as we all kind of anticipated. The surety of it all is up in the air right now. I don't know how they're going to respond to this. I don't know. They said Shuri's going to have a prominent role. They very specifically haven't said that she's becoming the new Black Panther because they're a little scared right now.
Oh, whatever. That thing's going to blow over.
I imagine my instinct is that it will too, but apparently people are worried enough that it's not going to blow over. So. Avoid some spec. We're going to move on to She-Hulk 2022.
Thank you. Okay, so yeah, the media kind of pulled a wool over our eyes. Like, no, Tatiana Maslany is definitely not going to be She-Hulk. Gotcha.
Yeah, basically, and I'm pretty sure this is like they've all but said this is going to be the 2004 She-Hulk.
Ooh, that's good.
I will say, out of all the shows that we're getting, this is up there as one of the more anticipated for me.
What they confirmed is we got Maslany, we got Ruffalo, and Tim Roth. Man, we have the Abomination coming back. That's huge, literally.
Do we know if Ruffalo is going to be like in Professor Hulk form or what?
Well, I mean, that's where we left him off, and I don't think you can transform back from it. Let's say like we finagle a way to do that. So presumably, I mean, I think we're putting money in this because we're going to do She-Hulk, and unfortunately, I don't think we're going to do it like Gamora. I think we got a CG or make it. They said
what
she's
if
going to
Abomination triggers Professor Hulk into a more like savage state?
That is possible.
I like that.
Again, we've teased that. I presume that they're going to CG Maslany because Kevin Feige very proudly said that she's going to be 6 foot tall and everything. Therefore, we're going to have to we have to make her big somehow.
Maslany is pretty tall, isn't she?
Oh no!
Oh no, she's 5'4".
Well, I mean, the whole transformation aspect, I'm sure that worked fine. But I'm just saying, to make her, you're definitely going to have to CG her like Professor Hulk.
Yeah, and that I think this is going to be a good one.
There's one other exciting thing they announced about is that they promised a lot of MCU cameos, which opens the possibilities up to, like again, Daredevil. Again, once we establish him, fingers crossed.
What I'm hoping for is that this is kind of like almost like a serious version of Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, where we get like a bunch of like bit part MCU characters coming in for court cases.
Well, that's essentially the premise, Tiki. That's essentially the idea. Kind of a light character.
Said this is a comedy series, right?
Reckon, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Better Call She-Hulk?
No, Turk Barrett.
Oh, I mean, that'd be great. But again, I'm just taking the main win of like she's always pitted in court against Matt Murdock, so we can absolutely get Matt Murdock in here, and also the leader. We can finally do something.
Barrett is like up there in terms of like the MCU Netflix stuff. I would like to see transferred over.
I'm with you. Now, again, that's the thing. There are a lot of great legal things to deal with here.
Jones.
Again, we got to build. I'm for it, but we got to get there, man. We got to start with the small victories. Anyway, so the leader, that's another big one I could expect too, because with the whole Abomination ball, we get one, we get the other dangling Hulk thread, and it might be some Spider-Man aftermath, might be some Accords to deal with. A lot of wondrous legal stuff we could do within She-Hulk. But again, She-Hulk, I'm with you too. You're very excited for it.
It will be very interesting to explore the legal landscape of the MCU.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All for that. I mean, again, Daredevil is being like the little tip of the iceberg there. She-Hulk is like the other lawyer character in the MCU. I'm all there. I've wanted a She-Hulk show for so long. We're finally getting it, and I'm so happy. Okay. Moon Knight, not a lot here. 2022, they're promising. They're promising everything but Oscar Isaacs, and again, where they're smoking.
They're not promising Oscar Isaacs.
One thing they haven't. The one that's like literally all these confirmations. This one isn't Sony. I don't know what the deal is here. Why can't we? Where there's smoke, there's fire. He's probably going to play at the end of the day. He's been teed up. He's there's some Egyptian connects there. The place all we confirmed is it's going to be Indiana Jones-esque. It's an Egyptian. There's going to be explore Egyptian mythology and everything and all that. And
they can either do this really right or they could do it really wrong.
A lot of eyes on Moon Knight, a lot of deep cut Moon Knight fans, and they're going to be really upset if this goes south. And also, we're going to explore the whole dissociative identity thing, which sounds on brand for Moon Knight. So it sounds like they're going to go the full 9 yards with it.
And of course,
but like PID, that is a hard thing to do right.
One of our associates is a huge Moon Knight fan, so I always think of Gulliver when this comes up. I'm like, oh, they better do it right for Gulliver's sake.
Yeah. I also echo Jacob Lyle's sentiments here. The She-Hulk show is kind of a middle finger to Universal, which, yes, it is. We found a way to do Hulk. That isn't that Hulk. Ha-ha.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, She-Hulk is arguably more important in the Marvel universe than Hulk is.
Like given the whole her connectivity, yeah, in that regard, yeah. And Hulk kind of served his time, therefore it's time to pass over the reins to She-Hulk. All right.
Yeah.
Speaking of like passing torches and everything, Captain Marvel 2, 2022, a lot of 2 love here. So big thing, we're bringing in Miss Marvel. So, huge connective tissue there.
That's exciting, and that's one of the first times we're going to see like one of these characters who originated from one of these TV shows into a big, movie. So that's kind of a cool thing to do with the connective tissue of it all.
It's kind of the boost in the arm Captain Marvel needs. It sounds like, because that's an interesting story. Because some of the best scenes in Captain Marvel were her actually as Captain Marvel and her bonding with young Monica Rambeau, who is going to be in this movie all grown up because we're going to see her in WandaVision.
Yeah.
So that's so we got some tie-in stuff there, and presumably we're setting up some Secret Invasion.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so seasons, folks. So we're going to go to Guardians of the Galaxy. The Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. Tiki, take the reins, man.
I mean, this doesn't even fully sink in yet. So it's just to be clear here, this is live action. It's James Gunn doing it. It's everything
live
we ever
action.
hoped for.
It's James Gunn. It's 2022. Basically, it's going to come whenever Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is. This comes the Christmas before that. So this is presumably 2022.
Dragon, I mean, I don't even, fuck, man. This is one of our bucket list things for the MCU, and we're getting it. I don't even know what else to say.
This is the kind of thing that makes you grateful for Disney Plus, because essentially James Gunn always mentioned he wanted to do this, but now, after we sell all that stuff...
absolutely got... Disney Plus is the perfect place for this. Yes. Mm-hmm. Oh, totally.
Now they've said, and plus they're always adding Christmas stuff anyway, like the Noel thing. So that's what I'm saying. Gunn finally has an avenue to finally make this thing happen, the money behind it, and it cements the Guardians as this is going to cement Guardians of the Galaxy as MCU Star Wars. This is a huge deal.
Pretty much, yeah. As if that wasn't the case already, but
probably going to celebrate the Guardians as a family and everything. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked for this. This is one of the announcements that just kind of came out of left field.
All right, so then we have, presumably in the middle of things, we have I Am Groot. This is going to be like an animated series of Groot shorts where he meets other kind of new and unusual members of the MCU, like a lot of Marvel characters. Like I imagine like Cosmo the Space Dog is going to be in this, that sort of stuff. A lot of weird stuff from Marvel.
I feel like we don't need this, but it could be fun.
The weird thing is, I can't get a beat on like what Groot they're going to use, because everyone's saying, but I haven't heard said by the guys that it's going to be Baby Groot. I think everyone assumes
they need to use Baby Groot. Baby Groot needs a redemption.
Redemption? What did he do wrong?
He didn't do anything wrong, but Baby Yoda stole his thunder.
That's what I'm saying. But if we do Baby Groot, it's going to be a cute off, and it's going to be monolithic.
Exactly.
Battle of the cute.
If they did Baby Groot meets Baby Yoda,
oh
God, would Disney Plus be able to handle that much cute, or would the service just implode?
Oh God,
I'm leaning towards implosion. All right, so then we have, speaking of Guardians, in 2023, we're getting Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Hey, all I can say, man, is I'm so stoked for Suicide Squad at this point that I'm let's just do it whatever, just take your time on it, make it good. I've got Suicide Squad to tide me over in the meantime.
So assumedly, because again, we've confirmed the at least Chris Pratt and presumably the rest of the Guardians are going to be in Thor: Love and Thunder. Presumably, they're going to part ways after that Thor movie, and then it'll just that. Assumedly, I don't know if Thor's going to be sticking around the next Guardians movie, but I don't know. It's all over the place. Because they keep changing the release dates and things are in production. I don't know if he's going to stick around or not. I mean, he's got nothing better to do. Presumably, if they write him out of the Thor movie, so I guess he could stick around. I don't know. But,
I would be surprised if Thor wasn't in Guardians 3, honestly.
Well, the two hanging chads that we have going into Guardians 3, they're assumedly going to be the main focus. Search for Gamora, a la Search for Spock.
Of course.
And Adam Warlock.
Adam Warlock.
We keep teeing up in these Guardians, but we haven't quite done it yet.
It's like the Charlie Brown football.
Yep. We're gonna get him. We're gonna get him. He's in the Soul Stone. No, he's not in the Soul Stone. All right. Jacob says, "Let James Gunn do what he wants. Let the gun do what he wants."
I agree, Jacob. That's why I'm in no rush for Guardians 3. It's gonna happen when it happens, and it'll be awesome.
So you're probably wondering, how can things get any better? Well, folks, you said the magic words, because I'm going to tell you. We're getting Secret Invasion. Just now we're in the undisclosed kind of future. Now we're in Phase 5, essentially. Guardians on, we're in Phase 5, presumably.
Secret Invasion I don't know too terribly much about. And
so basically, it's Skrulls have been invading Earth in secret for years.
I'm not
and
into
years.
the scrolls in the MCU, so I can't say I'm too excited about this.
Well, okay, now here's the thing you need to know about
Yeah,
it.
we've
Too.
only seen them in Captain Marvel.
Yeah, and I really wasn't into them Captain Marvel, so.
Well, the big takeaway is that the Nick Fury series that they teed up, presumably, is this is exactly what they did. They kept it a secret what it was. So instead of like it's a Nick Fury show, it's Nick Fury dealing with something he dealt with.
Oh, okay, I like that.
So he's paired up with Talos, the Skrull that impersonated him at the end of,
Right.
that guy. And the two of them are going to be dealing with the Skrull situation, which essentially has got sleeper cells all over the Earth. People have been disguising themselves, Skrulls have been disguising themselves, presumably as powerful people in the MCU, I'd imagine.
Now, are we going to get Spider-Woman in this series?
That's an interesting question, and I mean, we're doing Miss Marvel, so I think all is possible by process of elimination. But then again, with the Sony of it all, I mean, I think Spider-Woman, I don't think she counts within the Sony.
I don't think she counts.
I don't. That's the thing. So I think she's fair game, but it's I guess it's like we'll have to wait and see. But also the other big takeaway before we move on is that we're going to pay off Sword. So at the end of Far From Home, Fury's in space building essentially the next Shield, which is Sword with the Skrulls and everything. So that's what this whole thing is going to. All the payoff is with Fury is going to be in this series. Well, who do you trust thing? It's kind of like the whole Hail Hydra thing. It's like, who do you trust? Like, who could be a Skrulls? This is like where all that. I mean, Falcon Winter Soldier could be in this as cameos. I don't know. It could be.
I think there's a lot you could do with this.
There is. So I'm looking very forward to it.
Going back to what I said close to the top of our Marvel segment, like, could we be seeing the big Avengers crossover movies be Disney Plus series from now on?
Yes, this leads a lot of credence to that because again, this is like you're in the comics. This was like the follow up to Civil War, so this is a big deal.
No, this wasn't like the follow up to Civil War. This was the follow up to Civil War.
Yes, no, but you're right. It was the follow up. I'm saying I can't remember how long it went on for, but yeah,
it was like a year after Civil War, I think.
Sure.
So yeah.
This was big, that being the opposite point. So this basically could be our secret next event. Well, not secret Avengers. This could be our on the down low next big Avengers story, at least in the making. And maybe it tease things off for the big Avengers thing. The very least, Secret Agent's huge, so that's going to be that's a big one. A lot of eyes are going to be on this one, so be on the lookout. Okay, next. This is not much here. This Blade is still happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mahershala Ali.
Yep, Mahershala Ali going to dazzle us all. I think it's going to be more.
I'm still kind of weirded out by the Mahershala Ali thing just because of Luke Cage, but whatever.
I preside to the doppelganger thing. It's like these two guys look remarkably alike. We've had that.
I'm not saying he's a perfect Blade. Don't get me wrong. Perfect casting.
He is great.
But all right.
Yeah. Anyway, so then we go to this is a lot of people talking about this one. We got Ironheart.
I was shocked.
A lot of people are talking about this.
Well, I mean, I'm saying people have opinions about this. Whether they're right or not, I can't say, but people have opinions.
A lot of people don't like Riri.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
I was genuinely shocked that this is in development, because I think it could be really good, but it could also be really bad.
Yeah, I'm in the dark for the most part on Ironheart because I know when Black Panther came out, there was the speculation that perhaps Shuri could, like in an MCU version, become Ironheart, and then of course once we got Endgame, people thought maybe Tony Stark's daughter becomes like a version of an Ironheart. So Ironheart's been in play, but no one ever thought we were going to go the full we're just going to introduce Riri Williams. No one ever quite thought it, but it's actually happening. Which again I think it was probably the biggest surprise of all the Marvel news.
Yeah.
Because Tony Stark's kind of the hallowed ground right now. Just like we're going to do the next. We're going. I think all the Iron Man related stuff we're going to talk about here is like that's really the big eye catching stuff, given how big a moment that was, and like how when we broach it, it's a big deal. I think it's. I like that I respect that we're not shortcutting it with like a Shuri or a Morgan Stark, but I gotta tell you, I'm kind of dreading. I'm kind of dreading how difficult the whole rising angle is going to be to an audience, because again you're going to have the ridiculous people who are saying it's too diverse, young female and this new lineup of Avengers and everything.
We have a block button so we don't have to pay attention to them.
I'm aware of this, but here's what I'm going to say. Here's my retort to those guys. All right, is that look, and within the MCU, at the very least, because even just to give the argument credence, only in the sense of like some people might say we're pandering to please everyone. Now, I don't think that's the case because this is again, it's following the comics, so that's the ultimate argument. Well, guys, I mean, I don't think it's pandering if like we're pulling it from a source material here where this happened. Hawkeye, you passes on to Kate Bishop. Falcon gets these cat picked them. This is what happened. So it's not really pandering. It's not really like trying to please a demographic. I mean, take it up with the guys who wrote in the first place if you really feel that way, but not what we're doing here.
Here's what I have to say to these people. If you are angry because people who do not look like you, who do not represent you, are not being, you feel like, they are overwhelmingly not being representative of you as a person, look at yourself in the mirror. If you are a white Christian man, you are a hypocrite.
Oh, okay.
That's all I'm going to say about it.
Right. Also, there's the question of will Robert Downey Jr. be the voice of the AI in the suit? That could be really cool, and he is doing a voice on What If. I mean, it's possible. I don't know if it's going to happen, but it'd be a way of him not being Iron Man, but still being around.
I think it's definitely possible.
Right. Okay, that brings us to the next movie on the docket: Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, Ant-Man 3. Tiki.
Yeah. Kang the Conqueror as the villain.
I mean, I've heard the name Kang the Conqueror. I don't know too much about them.
It's basically a big time travel theme bad guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rule the world through time travel. It's kind of a trick.
This, like, hindsight 2020 with all the time travel in Endgame, I'm kind of surprised. I don't know how I did not see this coming.
He was the big bad guy everyone thought was going to be in Endgame.
Yeah.
Also, we had a good actor playing. We got Jonathan Majors, the guy from Lovecraft Country. He's Tick in Lovecraft Country. Really good actor. I'm pleased by the choice. And again, where there's smoke, there's fire. It's like, no, he's not going to play him. But yes, he's playing him. We just confirmed it. Why can't we just commit? I believe we have a Stranger Things alumni in this too, if I'm right. Catherine Newton. She's from Stranger Things, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think so. Catherine Newton.
She's playing Cassie, right?
She's playing the Cassie. Like, we recast Cassie as someone else. So, but it's
for the third time, right?
Well, she was a little girl before that we had the recast.
Yeah, but she was a teenager in Endgame.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like, this is the third time. So she's got a couple of years that pass. I mean, I'll buy it. The point being, we have a new Cassie Lang, and presumably our story here is going to be Scott bringing her into the whole. Like, she becomes a superhero in the comics. Scott training his daughter in the field. And
okay, so like we talk about all the parent-child moments, the mom moments that only Frigga gave. I cannot wait to see the father-daughter moments in this movie.
Those are, again, the most interesting thing with Ant-Man and Endgame that we're going to explore here, presumably, is that Scott Lang lost all the time that he valued so much to get with his daughter in Endgame because he lost 5 years and she's a grown-up now, and it kills him on the inside.
Yeah, I wonder, like, are we going? How is that going to manifest? Is Scott going to be like super overprotective of Cassie?
Entirely possible. I think ultimately what we're doing here. So Kang's going to be established in this movie. Now, some people are saying that's too big a bad guy for Ant-Man to go up against. But again, it kind of makes sense given the whole we've established time travel through the Ant-Man movies. Therefore, Kang might stop here before he does bigger stuff down the line. I think what Kang might try to do, what might make him really interesting through the whole Jonathan Majors of it all, is I think he's going to try to tempt him with maybe winding the clocks back, getting his daughter back, or something like that. I don't know. I think he might try to reset things, and maybe he's going to try to tempt him with the lost time, perhaps. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
So also maybe some Ghost payoff because we're harnessing time particles for Ghost. I mean, from the other Ant-Man movie. I mean, we'll see. So we have some hanging chads from Ant-Man, but presumably like all the time tunnel stuff will come back in the fray with Kang. All right. Okay, penultimate one. We got Armor Wars.
I don't see how this is necessary, honestly.
It sounds really cool. Tiki, you're going to like this for one particular reason.
Okay.
Justin Hammer. Now,
Son of a bitch, you sold me.
Now they didn't. To be fair, here's the thing: he in the comic and the thing, this whole thing, he's the big head honcho, and we teed this up in Iron Man 2. The idea of this movie is supposed to pay off everything we set up in Iron Man.
So Rockwell is not confirmed yet.
He's not confirmed yet, but again, you've seen the pattern here. With the
Okay, I will say if Rockwell is confirmed, then yeah, it has my attention.
I think it's like that they got to bring him back.
Until then, though, until Rockwell is confirmed, I gotta say War Machine not the most compelling part of the MCU by any stretch.
He has never been written well in the MCU.
No, he hasn't. So you can understand how I'm kind of just meh about this.
Look, that's fair enough. And look, I mean, a lot of people are the diehard Iron Man.
He's always been in Tony Stark's shadow. So, like, we finally get to see him out of that shadow as his own character and not Tony Stark's sidekick.
Yeah, I think best case, this could be Rhodey's.
That's a fair point.
Best case, I think this could be Rhodey's Falcon Winter Soldier thing, where he's honoring the legacy of Tony, where Tony's biggest fear was his suits falling into the wrong hands. And essentially, that's kind of what we tease. Like, it's never going to happen until Whiplash. And in Iron Man 2, where now Justin Hammer presumably has made it happen. It's happening in the world, and possibly we add, depending on when this thing comes out, if it comes out before, the Ironheart show or not, Riri Williams can maybe assist him. He's building a new roster. He's got his.
Will this introduce Riri?
Exactly. Either way, I mean, we could fit her in there. This again, assuming we bring back Justin Hammer, I think this thing could turn out to be really special. Could be really good. Could be Rhodey's big shot, big bite at the apple. We couldn't give him a movie, we can give him a series, man. He's going to be leading this series. That's something for him. Okay, lastly, biggest news of all, Tiki.
Sorry, I was distracted by taking off the ticker. Let's see, Fantastic Four. Yeah, for Phase 5, I would be more excited if it were literally any other director.
I wish it was in Phase 4, but beggars can't be choosers.
John Krasinski and Emily Blunt. Just give me it. Give it to me. I need it.
John Watt, man, he's fine. I've never been like his style makes sense for Spider-Man.
I don't know if it makes sense for
Fantastic Four is
goofy. How they do it, because Fantastic Four is very much a family unit.
But I don't really want goofy Fantastic Four again, though.
Well, let me put it this way. I think a lot of this. I think Fantastic Four with its director that it currently is. Of course, I think we were all pulling for Brad Bird.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah. Oh hell yeah.
I wanted him, but Brad Bird's got.
Why can't we have nice things?
I know. Why can't we have nice things? That's the question.
I mean, no disrespect to John Watt, but like.
But here's the thing. I'm gonna reserve the judgment on John Watts basically until we get the third Spider-Man movie. He really dazzles. If he pulls off the impossible with that Spider-Man movie, if he makes it work despite all the like making Tom Holland like a cameo as at the moment it seems like that might. If he can pull it off, if he can make that puppy work, if he can bring in Matt Murdock, I think he'll earn a lot of credit for Fantastic Four. And here's the thing. On one hand, I'm reminded of Spider-Man #1, where first issue Spider-Man
right at the very end.
Of course. So as well. Anyway, so I'm reminded. On one hand, I'm reminded of Spider-Man #1, which is the Spider-Man meeting the Fantastic Four. So in that sense, I get their logic. Okay, hey, John Watts is Spider-Man. He's going to do this Fantastic Four within the intro. It kind of makes sense. But I mean, potentially in that Spider-Man movie, if we go as far as how the heck do we get Peter Parker out of the situation without doing the whole one more day mind wipe, which nobody wants? I'm all for joking about it, like in the movie, but I don't want it to happen.
Oh God! If
the solution,
do a one more day thing, I'm going to throw a fit.
I think the theory I and a lot of other people have had is that perhaps in lieu of like killing Peter Parker, we swap universes with Miles Morales, where he's the new Spider-Man. Of course, if that happens, though, we kind of take off some of the charm of like maybe a Spider-Man popping up in a Fantastic Four movie, like half the point of why we have none of us do a Fantastic Four possible.
I don't like that. I don't like. I love Miles Morales, but like. You need to have a very, very established Peter Parker in order for Miles Morales to work.
Well, again, that's fair. So that's the thing. So it's again here, post again, a lot of us thought Peyton Reed was going to direct this thing too, and again, surprising that we didn't get him on this job. Especially, I wonder if all the Ant-Man pandemonium and the whole quantum mania thing that's going to happen might be the intro for Fantastic Four. Some people speculated. I think the prevailing theory is that they're going to come out of this. They've been stuck in the '60s, and they're going to come out of it after all this chaos has been going on between either Spider-Man or Ant-Man or Doctor Strange 2. Within all this chaos that's going on, they're gonna be thrown out of like a
yes.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
The whole '60s thing.
Yeah, because like
yeah, it's been a big theory. Yeah.
You could lean into the Brady Bunch of it all, but you could also lean into some really, really interesting storytelling that was kind of wasted on Cap.
Yeah, and I think I don't know if I go that far.
But wasted with Cap, where they didn't really do much of the Man Out of Time stuff.
I think we got a whole excellent movie about that Winter Soldier, but fair enough.
All right.
Okay, my point is the other
pretty.
All right, so the other big thing to take away from this too, speaking of the Reed Richards, the whole John Krasinski's of it all, Mickey fan, is that again, Reed Richards could be the next Tony Stark in the MCU. So this is going to be a big deal. He's kind of like he's of course the whole Illuminati aside. It's a big thing. So there's a lot of eyes on this movie. A lot of people rooting for this thing to succeed after all we've had other failures with the Fantastic Four. This could be the one that sticks. There's going to be a lot of eyes on this movie anytime a bit of news comes out for this one. So Fantastic Four, I'm so glad we confirmed it. I'm so glad we didn't end this thing with saying X-Men coming again. Like, no, give me FF. It's happening. Hooray. I'll take the win. Fingers crossed for John Watts. I'm going to reserve.
If they would have announced Deadpool 3, you would have been stoked.
Okay, that doesn't count, though. That's Deadpool 3. Okay, plus, if they do Spider-Verse, he's going to pop up at the end of the Spider-Man movie. We all know it.
Oh, God. All right.
Doctor Strange. He's going to appear in one of them. Anyway.
Anyways, I could see that being an end credit scene.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's Deadpool popping his head out of a portal. Like, I could see that.
Absolutely. I mean, final thoughts. That's too much, man.
That's too fucking much.
I don't even know, guys. I tried to keep up with it. I kind of fell off the rails there with the MCU stuff. But tomorrow I will definitely have more to say about this stuff, the Disney and Pixar side of things.
Oh, if you thought I had stuff to say about this,
yeah, you're gonna play with the big boys next round.
Put them up. All
right. Okay. So yeah, big thanks to Atomic Beast, Claude Karinga, Jacob Weil, Luke, Executive, and Donovan Martin for joining us in the chat. You guys are all awesome. And I will see you guys tomorrow when we will cover Disney and Pixar. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.